knocked down to misdemeanors, which you're not going to serve any jail time for. That means you didn't mean anything to the 7 felonies. You're not looking for justice. You're looking for Trump. So I don't think it's a big deal. Terry Moran doesn't feel it's a big deal. You don't go prosecute someone for something that happened 2 years ago. Just perfect timing for the election. Hey, it's still October for now, but the holidays are coming up fast. Before your life goes into overdrive with the holidays, protect your home with Simply Safe Home Security. You can get a brand new system today for 40% off. Also, it's a great gift if you want to grab that early. So I love Simply Safe because it simply went in. It was easy to install and put in and check out, and I'm ready to go. I leave at 2:30 in the morning, and I know that my house is secure even though I'm not there to protect it. Why? It's powered by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. With this live guard protection and the smart alarm wireless indoor camera, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders, helping stop crime before it happens, not just find the guys after they do it. Satisfaction is backed by Simply Safe money back guarantee. Try Simply Safe for 60 days risk-free. If you don't love it, return it. So get your 40% off any new system by doing this. Visit simplysafe.com/killme to get your 40% off. That's simplysafe.com/killme. There is no safe like Simply Safe. Use my name, Simply Safe.
Now is the time to replace your home's exterior during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary with same as cash financing. Beautify the exterior of your home and save with famous James Hardie siding and Pella windows. James Hardie looks and feels like real wood with no maintenance. Call now for special financing. Let Banner Construction's exterior design team give you a free quote. Call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050 or online, bannerconstruction.com. And have a banner day.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments until next year? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Is Iran to blame? I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Pentagon says the U.S. holds Iran responsible for attacks by militant groups supported by Iran. However, the U.S. has not seen a direct order from Iran's supreme leader for attacks on U.S. troops in the region. This after another incident today with 2 attack drones targeting U.S. troops in Syria, taken down with no injuries. The Pentagon sending more hardware to the region, including missile defense systems.
Also, the U.S. is sending the Eisenhower Strike Group to the Persian Gulf. Initially, it was headed to the Eastern Mediterranean to join the Ford Strike Group. That's now been redirected after Iran-backed forces started attacking American positions in the Middle East.
Fox's Rich Edson. The UK landing on the same page as the U.S. with intelligence assessments finding a Gaza hospital explosion was likely caused by a missile or part of one launched from within Gaza toward Israel. Britain's prime minister also telling Parliament misreporting of the incident has had a negative effect, cautioning against any future rush to judgment. Amid heightened concern about security at the southern U.S. border, Customs and Border Protection says the fiscal year ending in September broke a record with more than 2.4 million migrant encounters and apprehensions, nearly 100,000 more than the previous year.
169 people caught between ports of entry had names that matched those on the terrorist watch list, far more than in prior years. And since the start of the new fiscal year, October 1st, Border Patrol tells Fox News they have documented 23,000 known gotaways, people who got into the country whom agents were unable to stop.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. A security scare on an Alaska Airlines flight operated by Horizon Air en route yesterday from Washington State to San Francisco when an off-duty Alaska Airline pilot traveling in the flight deck jump seat is accused of trying to turn off the engines. The captain and first officer responding quickly, securing that person, safely diverting the flight. Investigation ongoing. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Summer feel again on this Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, a good 10 to 12 degrees warmer than yesterday. Kind of windy, 78 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, breezy and 62. Tuesday, still windy and warm, 79 degrees, but partly to mostly cloudy skies. Might be a spot shower, but don't expect much on Tuesday. Expect periods of showers Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hey guys, Glover here for a brand new sponsor to the show, Master.com. That's MASTOR.com. If your phone system does not allow you to be anywhere in the world, if it is not connected to the cloud, if it is not partnered with Nuso, which is a St. Louis company and a nationwide leader in cloud-based phone systems, then you are with the wrong company. We are local. We're family-owned. We're great at what we do. Once again, find us at Mastor, MASTOR.com. That's Master.com for the best phone service.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisor Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. I have many female clients and widows that don't fully understand their investment choices. Would you like a retirement review and a second opinion on your current retirement plan? Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying, and would you like to learn how you can avoid those fees? Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees for the past 37 years. Let our family help your family. So go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, Jonathan, as you know, recently we've seen rocket and UAV attacks against bases housing our troops in Iraq and Syria. We're concerned about potential escalation. In fact, what we're seeing is the prospect of a significant escalation of attacks on our troops and our people throughout the region. And because of that, we're going to do what's necessary to make sure that our troops are in a good position, they're protected, and that we have the ability to respond.
Secretary Lloyd Austin talking to us about the possible escalation of attacks on our troops. We've seen this. There's been another attack today, I believe it was at a base in Syria, and we watch and we wait. Are you scared? Are you nervous? How do you feel about the direction that this is all heading in? Do you feel confident about where this is headed? Do you feel as though our country is in good hands? My nerves come watching all these stories develop. My nerves come much more from not having the confidence in our leadership that they're going to handle whatever comes our way, much more than the idea that something bad is going to happen. And I think that that's a reality that we're all facing right now. The more we pay attention, the more we worry. And worry is something that really pushes you down. It weighs you down. I understand that. Fox News reports the son of a Hamas founder said Hamas is even more dangerous than ISIS on Monday, claiming the mainstream media is afraid to call it genocidal religious movement for fear of igniting a full-on religious war. There is, we suffer in our country from, the word disinformation is tossed about quite a bit. But the people who are talking the most about misinformation are generally trying to misinform you in a different direction. Information is currency in our world right now. It is the universal currency, and it can acquire power. It can acquire wealth. Information is used against us. It's used to manipulate us. It's used to scare us. It's used to instill fear. It's used to misinformation is used to keep us stupid, to keep us from asking questions. And boy, have we seen that in the last 5 years. You could take it back even further to when Donald Trump was elected, the way that they treated him. Do you remember the headlines that says the impeachment starts today? I think it was the Washington Post, but I could be misattributing that. But the second that Donald Trump was elected to be president of the United States, they were working on how they were going to take that away from him. And inherently, of course, you know this, take it away from you. We are in a battle of information, and we are in a position where you are gaslighted. You see things with your eyes, you smell things with your nose, you hear things with your ears, and then somebody comes and tells you, no, it's the exact opposite of that, and then they make you to feel crazy. That's what gaslighting is. And the only way to push through a campaign of misinformation, and it doesn't have to be about Russia collusion or the genesis of COVID or what's going on in Israel and in the Middle East right now. There's so much information out there that you can usually get to the truth if you take the time to work at it. If you don't rely on just one news outlet, you can't just listen to the Annie Fry show and know everything that's going on. I have my opinions and perspectives that I give on the news on any given day, and guess what? I could be wrong. I could have a gut feeling, an emotion that pushes me to think something, and I could be wrong. Of course I could be wrong. I will be wrong. We all have to individually pursue that truth on our own. And what we have seen, especially since Donald Trump became the president and was so successful at being president, his policies, how they helped America thrive, how he handled his business, our business across the globe. I know there are people who probably have made you think that he was an embarrassment in the world. But you have to ask yourself, when Donald Trump is made out to be a failure, an embarrassment, a risk, you can say that sentence, but you have to first, in order to have an honest conversation about it, you have to agree upon what Donald Trump would be embarrassing. You have to agree upon what he'd be risking. You have to ask yourself, if Donald Trump is said to be a complete and total failure, to somebody who says that, what does success look like to them? Because my estimation is the far left in this country, who has had political success under Barack Obama for 8 years, who is having great political success under Joe Biden for these 2.5, 3 years, their great success, what they got elected to do, they're doing. They are being very successful at it, and it's ruining the country. So if I go out and I say Joe Biden is the biggest failure of a president of my lifetime, I mean, I was born in 1984. There are a few of you out there who were born before that, and you were alive and well when Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States. Some of you have seen a lot more than I have, and I hear a lot of you saying he's the biggest failure of your lifetime. We have to start getting to the very ground level of where that conversation begins, because most people on the surface, they just hear, oh, she's a Republican, oh, he's a Democrat, and you just go to your corners and you root for Team Blue, you root for Team Red, and you just do it again on Tuesday. What does it look like to be successful in America? Take the politics out of it. And I mean, you had across the country, when they say, you know, they talk about crime rates, people, when they talk about gun laws, Illinois has an incredible overstep in the Second Amendment in their assault weapons ban, or whatever they're calling it right now. California this past weekend, I think it was, got theirs overturned. Come on over to Illinois law and order and constitution. We'd like to revisit with you. Hopefully Illinois follows suit. But you'll see people who will advocate for massive gun control, and then they wave their finger in your face if you're somebody on the conservative side, if you're a pro-Second Amendment person, which makes you pro-Constitution, really. Doesn't have to just be about the Second Amendment. They'll say, look at the crime rates. Some of the biggest crime rates exist in cities in red states, and they point to Missouri. And they want to blame the red state for the destruction that's taking place in St. Louis. Now, you and I know better, and I shouldn't even waste a second of your time trying to explain to you sitting here in the St. Louis listening area how absolutely moronic it is to make that example. Yeah, St. Louis is in Missouri, which is a red state. But I feel like I could go outside right now and stand in the park right next to me and shout that I got $100 for the first registered Republican to come running. And I don't know that I would find one that is registered in the state of Missouri over here that would be walking down the street. This place is chock full of Democrats. It's run by Democrats, and all of the Republicans, all of the people who at least want conservative-minded government, have moved out of the city. St. Louis is in despair. The Middle East is in despair. It's a different kind of despair, but if you want to put up the type of crime that exists in St. Louis against anywhere, there are heinous things being exacted on people right here in the listening area in this moment, and nobody even looks at it. Nobody has anything to do or say about it unless all of a sudden they're like, I think that we can use what's going on in St. Louis to pull back some of these guns from people. All right, criminals, we need all of your guns. If you've got that illegally, you're going to need to drop it off at the old police station. No questions asked. Give me a break. These people make these arguments. They're incredibly disingenuous arguments. They know what they're saying. All they want to do is rile you up. They know that they play on emotion. They know that they win on emotion. They don't win on facts. Facts are boring. Facts don't bring people in and make them sit down and put their two fists up under their chin so that they can lean in and soak up every really intelligent thing that some policy wonk has to say about gun control. They don't do that. They live on emotion. And on the right, we don't. But it's time we start to get a little bit emotional about what makes America great, because if we don't do that, pretty soon we're going to lose it. What's going on in the Middle East right now doesn't happen if America is strong, if America is flourishing, if the people around the world trust that America will do those America kind of things. We wouldn't be in this position if we had strong leadership that loved what America is. We hear campaign after campaign after campaign from the left that talks about how disgusted they are with America, where it's come from, where it is right now, how much work we have to do to become what is actually a great nation. And it means disowning everything we ever have been, how far we've come. I mean, I'm going to say this, and I know that to some it might sound like it cheapens my argument, but yesterday we watched Remember the Titans with my kids. We had to pause the movie, I mean, probably over 30 times to explain what was going on, because my kids were appalled at the idea that black kids used to go to one school and white kids used to go to another. They didn't get it. They couldn't understand that reality. They couldn't understand the concept that there would be white grown people shouting at buses pulling into school that might have white and black kids on them. They didn't get it. It was as foreign to them as a language that they've never heard before. And when I had to tell them that they're only 2 generations removed from that understanding, they couldn't believe it. There's speech after speech after speech from Denzel Washington standing at Gettysburg and Remember the Titans, which is a Disney movie that they made in the 90s. You can see how far they've come from there. And they're talking about how great we are and how strong we are when we're together. And for some reason, the people who keep winning elections in this country keep telling us to go to our corners and point across the aisle and say, we hate you. How does that win? How does that continue to win in this country? And if you want to know what it looks like when that keeps winning, look at the fact that the world is on fire right now. And like I said at the beginning, you might be worried like I am that the grown-ups at the top, the people who were there and supposed to bring us unity, that pile of steaming poo that they sold us in the 2020 election, that the adults were going to be in charge again. Man, I don't like it. I'm not okay with it. And it's starting to make me a little bit angry. It's starting to get under my skin a little bit more. That the idea of success for this administration and the one that is fully supporting it in an advisory capacity is the idea that we have to fundamentally transform this country. They're doing it, man, and it's burning down all around us. Change it back. Get us back to the place where we could watch a movie that was made in the 90s that was talking about how far we came, so we make sure that the generations to come can look at something like that and be absolutely appalled that this would happen. Absolutely disgusted at the idea that people used to so blindly hate, because it's just what the people who came before them had known. There's a lot of hope that exists in the world. But if we don't start on our side getting passionate about what it means to be successful in America as individuals, as people that run and have a government that serves them and not the other way around, because that's the direction we're headed, folks. That is the fundamental transformation. The only distinction that makes America so incredibly different and special is that you are at the top of the power structure. Every other entity, every other empire, every other nation, every other country has always had some sort of monarchy or dictator or leader over it before America that called the shots. In America, we said, we're going to do this differently. That is the fundamental foundation of our country. And Barack Obama promised to push us aggressively in a direction to fundamentally transform that. And Joe Biden is a direct extension of that. There was passion behind the 2008 election. There was anger behind the 2016 election. There was deceit behind the 2020 election, selling us a campaign and a candidate who was going to come in and unify the country. He did not. We are more divided than we have ever been in my lifetime. And there's no end in sight. It's time that we be the end in sight. For this type of leadership, send it packing. 379 days until the election. Go talk to somebody in your life and listen to them. And find out what they care about. Find out what they're worried about. Wait for them to sit down and listen to you because you first sat down and listened to them, and see if they're interested in what you have to say, and be kind. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Jason Chaffetz is going to join us. He's a Fox News contributor. He is also the former chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committees in the United States House of Representatives. So you're going to get to hear what Jason Chaffetz has to say about this Speaker of the House debacle right now that the Republicans have found themselves in. That's the YouTube live chat poll. Who will be the next Speaker of the House? Is it going to be a current House representative or someone from outside the House? Jason Chaffetz answers that question when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I don't do well with the drama. And no, I can't stand
Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa. Performing live on Saturday, November 11th at the Fabulous Fox. Tickets on sale now at fabulousfox.com. Joe Bonamassa. Don't miss the guitar event of the year.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct is the the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. At Olive and 270, official partner of the St. Louis Blues and proud to call the Gateway City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. Kelsey's Hope Foundation is supporting children with cancer and their families. Annie here, 97.1 FM Talk is proud to support Kelsey's Hope. Give back at Bobby's Frozen Custard's Trunk or Treat on October 26th or the Tree of Hope Gala on November 18th.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
When they get back here, they should stay in. They should go into a conference, not come out, bring food in, and stay there. A very simple test. Can you get 217 votes? They shouldn't bring anybody out until they have 217. And second, that 217 has to be committed not just to elect a speaker, but to stick together for the next 5 or 6 months. They got big decisions coming down the road. There's a very real danger that they'll elect somebody, and 3 or 4 or 5 weeks from now, you're going to have a group of people blow up and decide to go back into the same mess.
Newt Gingrich talking about the mess, that's what he calls it, where we're still waiting for a Speaker of the House. Did Matt Gaetz know what he was doing when he started this? I have no idea if he thought it would look like this. And a reminder, when he did engage in this initially to basically recall the Speaker, Israel hadn't happened. It happened that weekend, and now we're in an even bigger precarious situation. Let's bring our friend Jason Chaffetz back onto the show. He's a Fox News contributor. He's also author of They Never Let a Crisis Go to Waste, Power Grab, and the Deep State. Jason Chaffetz, the Democrats aren't letting this crisis go to waste either in the House. Thanks for being back here on the show with us.
Well, Annie, always good to be with you. Listen, yeah, the Democrats are kind of snickering over there. And remember, Democrats don't have these problems because they're top-down, power-centric party of the elitists. Yeah. And if this was the Democrats, yeah, they'd get all in line like lemmings. And whereas Republicans believe in self-determination and freedom and liberty, and it's not a top-down, it's a bottom-up approach. And that's sort of the cost and price of freedom. So somehow, some way, our republic will survive. I agree with Newt Gingrich with one exception. I wouldn't bring in food. Make it as painful as possible. Just keep going until you get there.
I'm so glad that you said that. I heard him, I guess it might have been with Shannon Bream on Sunday when he was talking about this. And I think he talked about bringing in food 4 separate times in one point. And I'm like, are they really hungry? What is the deal? I mean, what's it like to be in that room at that point when you have no choice? You've got to pick somebody.
Well, the animosity's high. The tempers are flaring. Usually what happens is every week they get together, they bring in food. There's a little Chick-fil-A. Maybe there's some, Taco Bell, or there's something there to eat. And the nicer the food, the bigger the ask. But now I think the food budget is probably maxed out. And I just think you say, sorry, folks, we're going to sit here until we figure this out. The idea that they went on recess during the vacation or, during the weekend, I mean, that's what Joe Biden did. And the look was really bad. And I think for House Republicans, they got to stay there, stay in the room, figure it out. And they may have to go outside the body, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been a big proponent of somebody like Elise Zeldin or even Speaker Gingrich to come back in and say, hey, all right, I'll take the reins through the end of this Congress. No more of these shenanigans. and we have got to solve some of the biggest problems that we've faced, and they're coming up in rapid fire. You don't have much more time to waste.
I love that you said that. We have a YouTube poll every day on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and today's is who will be the next Speaker of the House. Is it going to be a current representative or someone outside the House? Do you believe that there's somebody in the House right now that will satisfy 217 Republicans to vote for him?
I don't. I really don't. I think there's some very good qualified people. I think of Byron Donalds. I think of Jim Banks. I think of Mike Johnson out of Louisiana. I mean, there's some really good quality people who I think would be exceptional speakers. It's just everybody needs to take a deep breath and say, because they all think they should be the speaker, right?
Of course they do.
I mean, if you run for Congress, you got an ego. And everybody thinks they should be the speaker, but very few people can pull that off. I think a person like Lee Zeldin, who used to be in the body, he was the gubernatorial candidate for the Republicans in the New York race, but he's as close to Switzerland. Everybody likes him as it gets.
What is the I think it has probably become new information. Maybe people have learned in the last couple of weeks that the Speaker of the House doesn't actually have to be from within the House of Representatives. It seems to me like there might be some distinct advantages to making it a practice to not be in the House. What are your thoughts on it since you served there?
Well, I think we ask far too much of a speaker. You know, we expect them to be chief fundraiser. We expect them to be the expert on the policy. And then we expect them to herd the cats and pass every vote and be conservative. And if you got more moderate, you want them to be more moderate. And I think that's an impossible task. The advantage a speaker from outside the body would have coming in now, which is under the Constitution allowed. I mean, the founders foreshadowed that this might be the case. Which is coming into play right now. They don't have to worry about their own reelection. And that takes a huge portion of what they got to do off the table, because if they can just worry about the body as a whole, the functioning of the government, then I think it's a distinct advantage. And at this point, may be the only person that can pull that off. And Lee Zeldin and Newt Gingrich are the best two names I can come up with.
We're speaking with Jason Chaffetz, who's a Fox News contributor. He's also host of Jason in the House podcast on Fox News Radio. I am curious, I kind of like you to lay out, just from your experience of having served in the House of Representatives, being chairman of a high-profile committee, what are the mechanics of determining within the House what the Speaker's responsibilities are? You're saying there's too much on him. Does the caucus say we're going to change that up with the next speaker? How's that get renovated?
Well, there's some constitutional duties and the function of the House, making sure the trains run on time and that, you know, bills are brought to the floor and whatnot. But right now, the circle of power, because for the last 27 years in a row, we've done continuing resolutions and omnibus bills, that power is even more powerful. Instead of relying more on the committees and the chairman of those committees to actually get bills done. If they would focus more on that, which is conducive to what Matt Gaetz and others were asking for, then I think the body would be happier and they would be more effective and even move quicker. Now, remember, our founders didn't set up a glide path to make this the smoothest, easiest, fastest way to pass legislation. They would have structured it totally different. They wouldn't have two different bodies, 535 people, and but they set it up such that it was a difficult gauntlet to run. But the speaker, I think their role has to be trimmed back.
So I want to ask you, we're speaking with Jason Chaffetz right now. I want to ask you about your thoughts on Matt Gaetz, because when he first engaged, he was saying he was going to do it. I believe the tweet from at then time Speaker McCarthy was bring it on. And then Matt Gaetz was like, okay. And then there it went. When I listened to Matt Gaetz talking, the things that he was saying, I was like, I kind of agree with pretty much everything he's saying. These are the things that I want to see the House of Representatives doing. And we had the discussion, did he do the right thing? And if he did the right thing for the wrong reasons, is it still the right thing? I just want to know what your thoughts are on his actions and his timing.
I hate to have, no one person in the House is set up to be able to do this. I think the fundamental mistake that McCarthy and, quite frankly, the entire body made was allowing the call to vacate the chair to drop down to one person. I said at the time I thought it was a mistake to just, allow one person to be able to do that. Democrats could have easily done that if they wanted to, and would have sent Republicans into chaos. But nevertheless, I think the number should be like 20 or 24, maybe 5% of the body. If they get together and then they want to revote on who the speaker is, hey, do that. I am very sympathetic to the arguments that were made. They did promise that there was going to be regular order. They did promise they were going to vote on a balanced budget amendment. They did promise they were going to vote on term limits. They did a number of things and promises that obviously the speaker couldn't produce. So ill-timed to be able to say, bring it on, because evidently, Kevin McCarthy thought he had to deal with the Democrats. The Democrats were going to come save him, which is pretty unsavory. And that didn't happen. And so I don't like the timing. I don't think you make this change in the middle of the game. I think at the beginning of the Congress, if you want to fight about it, as they were, great. And then you wait again till the next Congress if you feel like, hey, you didn't live up to what you said, and so we're not going to elect you again. But to do it in the middle of the game, really frustrating, and very much disagree.
Yeah, it seems a little self-aggrandizing in that moment that it was more about what Matt Gaetz needed than what the body needed, although I do agree, like you said, sympathize with a lot of the arguments that were made. In your estimation, and I've heard reports of this as well, that Jim Jordan wasn't voted against as much as Matt Gaetz was voted against in the Jim Jordan's several rounds. I'm sure there are some people who would not prefer Jordan over McCarthy or whomever. But does this continue to be about Matt Gaetz in perpetuity? Because it seems like there's some people who aren't able to get over that hump and move forward.
Yeah, they have to get over that hump and move forward, because what I think they have a difficult time doing is every one of them voted for the rules package that allowed one person to vacate the chair.
That's very true.
Call for the vote to vacate the chair. So it's kind of hard to say, hey, I played by the rules. I didn't do anything outside the rules. You voted for those rules. You knew there was a change to those rules. I invoked that rule, and now you're mad at me? I mean, again, the House is set up so that one member can't just put a halt to it. It has to be a much broader group, and the red wave never did materialize. If we had the quote-unquote red wave, you wouldn't have a margin of 4.
Is there any possibility, last question before we let you go, Jason, we appreciate your time. Is there any possibility that after all of this dirty laundry gets taken care of very publicly, I mean, we are still over a year out from the election, and there are going to be about 1,000 million big stories that happen between the election and now. So people won't even remember this happened when they go to vote in November of 2024. But is it possible that this very ugly exercise does make the Republican Party stronger?
I hope so. I have an op-ed coming out with FoxNews.com tomorrow, and I basically say this is the price of freedom. They don't have these problems in China. They don't have these problems in others. But when you're bottom up, a voice of the people, and it gets a little messy sometimes, it's okay. And by the way, you make a good point too. I think from what I hear you saying, nobody's going to remember this. I mean, there are 500 people who care. At the end of the day, they're just not going to. I think people care. I don't want to overextend that, but 500 people that they're not going to switch their vote on who they're going to vote for their member of Congress because of some tussle back in October of 23
That's ridiculous.
About who the speaker is going to be. You don't go to you're going to go to the ballot and vote for your member of Congress. You're going to go vote for the president and vice president. And this will be long in the rearview mirror. I hope.
Yeah, we could be months into World War III at that point, and nobody's going to be even thinking. I mean, I'm happy that the country now is waking up to the fact that we actually have a Speaker of the House. So that's it's a baptism by fire in Constitution.
Lesson.
Amen.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you for your time today. We're really grateful for it.
Thanks, Annie.
We'll talk to you again soon. Jason Chaffetz is a Fox News contributor, author of the book, They Never Let a Crisis Go to Waste. I really encourage you to check that book out because it is about how basically the swamp operates. And there are a lot of really good things to pull from that you'll read his book and then you'll go, oh, now I understand that a little bit more with some details. His website is Jason in the House. And if you're a podcast person, go check out his podcast, which is also called Jason in the House. Wiggins in the House when we come back, and he's going to give us the Monday roundup, what we didn't get to over the weekend, what happened, and as he likes to report, if he doesn't report on it, it just didn't happen. Ryan Wiggins in with us in just a few minutes.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Stewart's American Mortgage is there to make sure that your financial situation has an opportunity to get better. I'm talking to you if you have mounting credit card debt that is reeling and you have side-eyed it a little bit. You maybe had to make a purchase or pay a bill or something. You had to pay the bill. And our savings are dwindling. Our paychecks aren't going as far as they used to. You had to pay this bill. You did what you had to do at the time, but now you're staring at this, 25%, 30% interest rate on your credit card, and you're saying, how am I going to get out of this? Reach out to Stewie because he can give you a plan to get out of it. He can help you with this. And honestly, when you talk to him about your circumstance, he is going to walk you through how he can help you. And if what he is offering you isn't helpful to you, he's going to tell you that. He's going to treat you honestly. I have done 2 mortgage refinances with Stewie. Both times I was able to lower my mortgage my interest rate before they went astronomically high. And there are other times where I've called him and I've been, we added a deck onto our house and we did a refinance to get the cash out for that. There are other times where I've had other expenses and I've talked to him. He's like, you know what, Annie, this isn't in your best interest. He'll give you that same respect as well. Reach out to Stewie and ask him how he can help you get out of that credit card debt. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And did we mention it's aluminum free? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 500. LumeDeodorant.com, code 500 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 500.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant health care program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues, and now the IRS letters are coming.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Drury Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey, happy Monday. Glad you're here with us. Here is the poll of the day. We'd like to know your thoughts on this question. Who will be the next Speaker of the House, current House Representatives member, or someone from outside the House? Who do you think it'll be? One of those two. Let us know. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day. The time right now, 12:47, just about 12. There it is, 12:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Searching for truth in a world of angles, positions, and outright lies. This is 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
The weatherman says rain today. We'll saddle up and be on our way. What's a little rain to a high riding rebel or two? 'Cause it's easy living, easy loving you.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've got Ryan Wiggins in studio for what I hope to be the wildest ride in the wilderness. Is that this one?
Yeah, yeah, it is supposed to be, but it's there. I can try to pull it up as we talk.
Oh, you don't have it? You didn't make it part
Well,
of
it's
the
not
intro?
officially a part of the
It
intro.
needs to be officially part of the intro.
So,
Yeah.
so you're if only we knew somebody who could edit this together.
Yeah, like an imaging director or something like that.
You took the time to find the sound from Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disney World to play it with us, and you were trying to time it?
Well, I'm not married to it yet. I'm just kind of dating it.
I hate to break this to you, but I am.
Oh.
And I've been literally asking for it for like months and months.
You know what?
And then you went to the lengths to get it.
I do have it. I still have it. I love beer. Still love beer. But I
The wildest ride in the wilderness. Yeah. Thank you.
See, it's there.
And all the people there that were happy, that were talking and chatting in the background, did you hear them?
The air brake.
Yeah. Hey, it's real. This is like from the Disney website or something. That is from the actual ride itself. This is a mixture of hard and light news. So let's start with some hard news. Just get this out of the way.
Rick said didn't know it was about beer. None of this is about beer.
No, I'm just...
He just said these words out loud.
Yeah. Just whatever comes out of my mouth is what happens in this segment. How about this, guys? Former representative from Wyoming, Republican, by the way, Liz Cheney said Sunday that she is not ruling out a White House bid and vowed to help elect leaders who will fight against future challenges to election results as seen in the 2020 election.
If she thinks she's popular enough, she should run for speaker.
I think that's a great idea.
She'd probably win. You don't think that the Democrats would vote for her?
I don't think the Republicans would put her up for a vote.
I'm just saying. They can all nominate her. They don't have to put her up for a vote. If the voting is open, the Democrats can vote for Liz Cheney, and then you just need 5.
Well, that's true. I guess the Democrats could nominate her, but then you'd have to have some defectors who
there would be
vote with Democrats.
You don't think there are 5 Republicans in the House who would vote for Liz Cheney?
Ooh, man, I don't know. That's a good question.
For sure there are.
There'd be more than 5.
I don't know, but to do it with Democrats, because then you're being a traitor.
How many people in the House have already said that they're not running for re-election? Plenty.
Maybe. Yeah, guy, put me on the spot, and now I have to admit that it's a possibility.
I know Democrats vote as a block, but I don't think there's any way you get 212 Democrats to vote for Liz Cheney.
What if we're nearly at war?
I still don't think so.
Let's just remind him who her father is. The point, though, is that Republicans don't like Liz Cheney enough that she could get the Speaker of the House without voting Democrats. So if Liz Cheney wants to run for president, she's going to have to come up with something other than as a Republican.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to get the nomination as a Republican.
Did she say as a Republican?
I don't know that she said for sure. She kind of was dodgy about it, like, maybe, but I'm not really going to say.
Did she get asked a question at like a Hardee's somewhere and someone wrote an article about it, or did she bring up that she's considering it?
Well, it was on CNN's State of the Union with Jake Tapper.
Okay. Were they at Hardee's?
Which I was going to say they could have been at a Hardee's because I know that their studio space is getting kind of tight there.
Yeah, it's our new sponsorship of Jake Tapper's show.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm offending CNN people or Hardee's, and I'm not really trying to offend anybody.
Hey, we go do this show at a Hardee's. I don't care about that. This is about CNN having a little bit of financial trouble.
I like how you suggest that, like, if we did it at Hardee's, would be the same as if Jake Tapper and CNN. Like, we're not above that at all. Well, no sugar, Sherlock. Everybody knows that. And Hardee's, if you're interested.
I think from other Wiggins Americas in the past, I think we've pointed out that there are times when this show is beating CNN. So, something to consider.
In this segment?
No. Next news item. Man arrested for robbing mall. Let me add, genius man arrested after robbing mall.
You taking notes?
Posing as a mannequin.
That is something you would do.
It's so awesome. It's something every kid thinks of.
I can see you trying to swipe some pretzels from Auntie Anne's, and then standing in the maternity store next there, trying to act like a supportive husband mannequin.
My mistake would be acting like a mannequin standing outside of Auntie Anne's, because people are like, that is not a mannequin.
Outside the candy store.
They're really trying to make these mannequins look a little more realistic these days.
That mannequin's beard is even grayed in certain parts and not others. It's amazing. That's amazing. This was not in America, though. This was in Poland.
Can we send you out and try to see if we can pass you as a mannequin anywhere?
I can already tell you that we'd have to shave my face. I'd have to get like a makeover, because you have to look very...
No, we'll just put one of those like socks over your face
if we
so
did
that you
something
can be
like
a faceless mannequin. We don't want to give people too much detail.
Awesome.
I'd be a faceless mannequin for the show. Yeah.
Put an Annie Fry.
Will you do the show faceless?
No, no. Because I'd have to talk through pantyhose. It would be weird.
We're not going to make you a criminal. You're not robbing anywhere. You're just trying to be... The point is to show people... sell people the clothes on your body, not your charming good looks.
So you don't think
you
that
want
I could do
your face
that?
To be distracting.
You don't think that I could do that with my face? Like, people would be too distracted by looking at my beautiful face to notice my clothes? Is that what you're saying?
It's within the realm of possibility. If you want to know about his handsome good looks, though, you can come look at the YouTube channel right now. He's dressed in his Fed costume.
Dressed to the nines, you might say. This guy is impressive. I just want to point out how he did this.
You're wearing a black T-shirt and hat.
I know.
The nines?
He was 22 years old. He would stand inside cases, the glass case fronts of stores, completely motionless for a long time. It's where even the employees of the store would think he was a mannequin. And he did it multiple times. The biggest one is he stole from a jewelry store. The other ones were just clothes.
So was he just waiting for there to be nobody?
Yeah, he was just waiting for them all to close.
Did he wear sunglasses?
I don't think he did.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't know
really
that he
impressive.
did. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't say for sure, but the picture that I'm looking at doesn't look like he is. But it's impressive, I gotta say. I don't know that I could stand still for more than like 15 seconds.
I could guarantee
let
you
alone.
can't.
You're like a child on a sugar high.
Yeah, because I always am on a sugar high.
He'd be standing there like a mannequin asking everybody who passes, how am I doing? Am I doing a good job? Did I fool
Am
you?
I moving or not? Look at me.
I'm completely still except for my mouth.
You can't even tell that I know I'm talking.
I'm like Jeff Dunham. Just look at me right now. Steve Moore and Mike Bost, unless they were listening, should be back with us in the 1 o'clock hour.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit, and medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text LESS to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word LESS to 323232 to get started today. That's LESS to 323232.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Your home has made you equity rich on paper, and you're planning on using that cash to retire, travel, or just downsize into a new place that's paid off. Good for you. But the longer you wait, the greater chance higher interest rates could chip away at your home's value. While your home value is still high, the time to act is now. With TrueHold. TrueHold buys your home now, and you can stay in your home for as long as you want. TrueHold buys your home for its best current value, and you bank the cash. Cash to do whatever you like, while TrueHold takes care of property taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Don't miss this opportunity to cash in on your equity and stay in your home as long as you'd like as a renter. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They're deeply concerned. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the White House, responding to questions about the recent increase in rocket and drone attacks by Iranian-backed militant groups on U.S. forces in the Middle East and the potential for any escalation.
We know Iran's goal is to maintain some level of deniability here, but we're not going to allow them to do. We also are not going to allow any threat to our interest in the region to go unchallenged.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby highlighting the additional air defenses being sent to U.S. bases in the region. He's also reiterating U.S. support for more humanitarian aid to be allowed into Gaza, but sidestepping questions on whether that has led to any delay in a potential Israeli ground offensive, saying the U.S. is not dictating terms to Israel's military. No credible, specific threat to the homeland. That's what law enforcement sources are telling Fox News. But there is concern about the potential for lone wolf attacks.
The FBI put out another memo last week. It was a bulletin to law enforcement agencies on the local level and national level, worried about the threat environment since Hamas provoked the attack on Israel more than 2 weeks ago.
Fox's David Spunt at the Justice Department. There's also continued concern about a potential increase in hate crimes.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has directed all 94 U.S. attorneys' offices to work with the Muslim and Jewish communities to make sure people are safe and feel safe.
The Department of Homeland Security warning the country could see an increase in anti-Semitic and Islamophobic crimes, with houses of worship, protests, and U.S. military assets considered likely targets. An off-duty airline pilot is facing more than 100 criminal charges, including more than 80 counts of attempted murder, accused of trying to turn off the engines on a Horizon Air flight from Washington State to San Francisco yesterday. The flight was safely diverted. The suspect, 44-year-old Joseph Emerson, remains in custody. He's now due for arraignment tomorrow. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Summer feel again on this Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, a good 10 to 12 degrees warmer than yesterday. Kind of windy, 78 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, breezy and 62. Tuesday, still windy and warm, 79 degrees, but partly to mostly cloudy skies. Might be a spot shower, but don't expect much on Tuesday. Expect periods of showers Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So when you're looking to make sure that retirement is secure, you are in your late 50s, in your 60s, maybe you've just retired, and you look around and you say, good grief, I worked really hard for this. I hope it's going to last so that I can enjoy my retirement exactly how I plan to. Make sure that you call the Retirement Advisor Group, because guess what? It doesn't cost you anything to do it. You're going to sit down and you're going to listen to what they have to say. They're going to listen to what you've already done and where you are. You're going to partner together and see how they can help you. And when you make that appointment with them, it doesn't cost you anything. They've helped so many people exactly like you who want to make sure that everything about retirement is set in place for you so that you can retire and live and enjoy that part of your life. You deserve it. You worked really hard for that. The last time we had a seminar, I met a couple who had been with Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisor Group for a couple decades, I think, at least. And they were raving about how helpful Thomas Helbig has been the whole time and how secure he has helped them be in their retirement. Schedule your appointment today, 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here. Not because of a label, but because conservative ideas actually work. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
This is Kim St. Ange with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. I can see clearly now thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra with Ophthalmology Associates, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Now that it's autumn, check window and door seals for proper insulation and replace your furnace air filter. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Monday. We're glad you're here with us today. We are watching the White House press conference right now. They're discussing at the podium all sorts of different questions surrounding Israel. We're going to continue to follow that news. We just got done speaking with Jason Chaffetz in the first hour about the speaker vote. No speaker yet, so we still have chaos there. So chaos in the Middle East, chaos in Congress. The good news is that our economy is well under control, and Steve Moore is here to talk to us about it. Distinguished Fellow in Economics at the Heritage Foundation, and you need to sign up for the hotline, which I get from Unleash Prosperity, Committee to Unleash Prosperity. Steve, thanks for being with us today. It's good to have you.
Hi, Annie. Good to be with you.
I'm reading the first thing from the hotline today, and it's talking about the national debt versus the debt held by the public. And, you know, these numbers are so astronomical that most Americans just think it's monopoly money at this point.
Well, it's not just most Americans. I think it's the politicians who think it's monopoly
No, that's even worse. That's true.
They're spending it like it's monopoly money, or, you know, they believe in the tooth fairy and there's all this free money. So, you know, I don't want to dwell too much into it, but people get confused. So the national debt, you know, the federal debt is roughly $33 trillion. But the amount of some of that, is just money that the one government agency owes another. So that's kind of a wash. So, but the national debt minus the amount of money that the government owns to its other agencies is about $25 trillion. And these are astronomically large numbers. When I first came to Washington, the entire debt was $2 trillion. And now it's $25 trillion. You know, so the numbers just keep going up and up. And by the way, we're headed to $50 trillion, folks. So if you think we're on a healthy course, you know, you might want to get a drink and look at these numbers because they are really scary.
Yeah, they are. They're frightening. And they always continue to move in the same direction. I don't understand, Steve Moore, and you've told us before you're advising the Trump campaign. You've advised the Trump administration. You have advised the initial Trump campaign. And so you know what it's like to put together good economic policy with a politician in a campaign, because going in and saying we're going to cut this and we're going to cut that hurts a lot of people's feelings, and feelings often get the vote. How do you convey to the American people the importance of having leadership that goes in there and says we need to constrict what we're spending our money on?
Well, let's talk about what's right in front of us right now, because you just said that the president is having another press conference on Israel, and he proposed, I think it was last Friday, a $101 billion aid package to Israel and to the Ukraine. Now, I know your listeners probably have very different opinions about whether we should do that or not. My own opinion is, you know, we're broke, folks. We don't have a lot of money to be giving away. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I know, some of the people I really respect think it's really important we do this. But that being the case, and I'd love your reaction to this, Annie. You can be my focus group this morning.
Fantastic.
If we do this, I think there should be 2 or 3 conditions. Number one, it shouldn't be $100 billion. It should be about half that amount, and that's way, way too much money. But let's say it's going to be $50 billion. Every single penny of that should be paid for by cutting other programs. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a smart move because we don't have the money. The money that
exactly.
that we're sending. I heard. I think it was Rand Paul was saying we shouldn't be borrowing money from China to be giving it to Israel or Ukraine. And
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, when you put it
that's
that
a good way to put it. Now the second part. Okay, so I think most of your listeners will probably agree. There's plenty of $50 billion out of a $6 trillion budget. That's 1 cent out of every dollar. We can find that money. I think most of your listeners would agree. So pay for it. Don't stop borrowing. Pay for it. And by the way, there's $360 billion of green energy programs. Why don't we cut those by $50 billion and use that if we're going to aid Ukraine and Israel? Now the other one is, I really believe that if Biden is serious and he says we want to do everything we can to help Israel and help Ukraine, then the most important thing, far more important than giving them money, is to produce more oil and gas here at home. So Joe Biden, stop the war on energy. And if I were Republicans, I'd say we're not voting for any of this money until you agree to lift all these curtailments on American oil and gas money, because we know that if you really want to hurt the terrorists, if you really want to hurt Putin, take away his oil money.
Right.
Where do you think, Annie, that Hamas is getting the money for these rockets?
Maybe Iran.
Yeah, Iran. Where do you think Iran gets the money?
Pallets.
Oil.
On an. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, selling oil. So we play in their hands because we could be producing. We could be just knocking them out of the oil game by producing more at home. And by the way, when we don't produce it, the price goes up. So they've benefited twofold. I estimate about $50 billion if we just stuck with the Trump policies on energy, Iran would be $50 billion poor. They wouldn't have money to fund the Hamas and Hezbollah and all these terrorist groups.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is so obvious and common sense that what we can, if we have the money to send to help Israel in this particular instance, or even if it's going to continue to go to Ukraine, if it's that important, then something else here is going to have to, take it, and move it that direction. Who is advising in our government right now? Like, where does the economic advice come from? Because it seems like all the decisions are being made about what's immediately politically expedient.
Well, I'll give you an example of what you're talking about. I mean, I think, the vast majority of the people listening to your show know that it's completely imbecilic to be talking about $200 billion of forgiveness of student loans. I mean, people take out a loan and they're college graduates. They should pay back the loan. I mean, it's pretty, open and shut case, right? That you took out the loan, you should repay it. That's what stand-up people do. And it's not me and you and the people listening to the show that have to pay your student loan back. But Biden wants to give out this money. Now, why do you think he wants to do that? Because he's trying to buy the votes of young people. Don't you think? That's all this is about.
Right. Yes. That right before the midterm election, I think that had an effect on it. So
Oh, young people, vote for us. We'll write off your loan. But hey, you know what? I got an idea. They can have my vote if they'll write off my mortgage.
Yeah. But votes could always be bought.
This is just this is a dangerous thing in a democracy. Somebody once said, I forget who it was, one of your listeners may know, that the way democracies perish is when people finally realize they can vote as much money out of the public till to themselves as they want.
Yeah, and we're getting.
And then you go bankrupt. Yeah.
Steve Moore, before we let you go, I want to ask you just about the next few weeks here while we're waiting to see what a speaker is going to materialize in the House of Representatives, and there's going to be money spent. We're going to be talking about this budget. We've had a CR. They want to vote on a balanced budget amendment. What are your thoughts on what should be the focus of the House the second that they get their House literally in order?
If they ever do. Just spend as much as you did last year. is that asking so much? Just cap it at last year's level. Then when we get a new president, we can, figure this out. But, we have a president who is exercising modern monetary theory, where you just borrow and borrow and borrow until the cows come home. And by the way, you can tell I'm by the Capitol because probably all you're hearing in the background is the police. But anyway, let's stop. Let's at least say we're only going to spend this year as we did last year. I think they're coming for me, Annie.
I was
don't
going
know.
to say, I'm going to let you to it. It sounds kind of like St. Louis. I'm not going to lie. Sounds kind of like home.
They think I'm one of those January 6th, because if you say anything against the president, they start coming after you now.
Yikes. Yeah. Well, you stay out of trouble, Steve Moore. And thank you for giving us some of your time today. We're grateful for it. Bye-bye.
Take care.
He's the Distinguished Fellow in Economics at the Heritage Foundation, on the scene there at the Capitol, working to try to get us back some economic sanity. Why is it that if you incur some sort of unexpected expense, let's say you get into a car accident, you need to replace the car, you need to spend, a couple $1,000s to repair it, whatever it might be. You don't just get to manifest $2,000 more to give to someone else. If you put it on the credit card's going to ask you to pay it back with interest. Or what you do is you say, you know what, we were going to do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to put this together. We're going to take that $2,000 over from there because we need to have a functioning vehicle. So you move the $2,000 over. Why are we not expecting the same of the people who are spending our money in government? And when I was listening to Shannon Bream, I think it was, Shannon Bream interviewing Mitch McConnell on Fox News Sunday. She was asking him, about the debt and whether it's wise to continue to spend this money that we don't have. And what do you say to your colleague, Senator Rand Paul, who says we should not be borrowing money from China to hand it over to Israel? And Mitch McConnell said we do have a debt problem. We have a significant debt problem. And Mitch McConnell then said, we had a debt problem in the last administration, too. And I thought to myself, I see what you're doing, Senator McConnell. You're trying to make sure that this isn't just a here and now. We're not making a decision just based on what is taking place here and now. But you're suggesting, Donald Trump wasn't perfect on this either. Mitch McConnell, who is consistent between those two administrations? Who is serving in some sort of political leadership in both administrations? Because I'm going to look squarely at you, sir, to say you do something about it. It's not just about the president. It is insulting to your intelligence when you watch politicians like this consistently pass the buck. There's always someone, we can identify what the problem is, and we're ready to solve it. But before we get to solving it, I want you to understand either who the victim is or certainly who the victim isn't. Who the perpetrator is or who the perpetrator isn't. And for Mitch McConnell to sit there and say, yes, we have a debt problem, but I just want to remind you, we spent too much money in the last administration. Mitch McConnell, did you vote on any of those spending bills? Because I'm pretty sure that if it got to the point where it got as far as it needed to go, that there are times where the Republicans in the Senate supported dramatic spending measures. We have to have a prioritized, principled approach to how we spend your money in Washington, D.C. Because listen, I would love to have storehouses of defense right now that I could rely on so that we have the munitions, that we have the technology, and we have young American men and women who want to sign up and serve. We don't have that right now. Do you know why we don't have that right now? Because people right now don't even understand if they sign up because they love this country. They're willing to die for what this country stands for. Would you question right now what this country is willing to stand for? At the cost of your life? I think people in previous conflicts knew when they signed up what they were signing up for. Do the people in charge love this country? Do the people in charge love this country because of why you love this country? Is there anything in common about your heart's passion for what it means to be an American that is congruent with what Joe Biden thinks, or what Chuck Schumer thinks, or what Nancy Pelosi thinks, or Hakeem Jeffries, or whatever other Democrats are in power. Does the, speaking Kamala Harris terms, Venn diagram of what makes your heart beat for this country and what people in this country are willing to give up their beating heart to save and to protect? Do we even have circles who touch on the Venn diagram? I hope that we do. And I think most normal Republicans and Democrats that are in your family, that are in your office right now, that you're sitting next to in the car, in the street, at a stoplight right now, I think most normal people have a huge intersection. We have a huge congruency in what we love about America. But for some godforsaken reason, I don't think it exists very much in Washington, D.C. That's a huge problem. The only way that it changes in Washington, D.C. is if we fix it here at home first, so that the people who you're sitting around who maybe think differently than you do about X, Y, and Z, but you agree on A, B, and C, which are the most important things, we gotta fortify what makes being American the greatest blessing that one can receive through birth or through the hard work of becoming an American citizen. That's supposed to mean something. Talk to an immigrant who's gone through the process. There is a secular salvation that comes from leaving some of these incredibly awful places on the globe and becoming an American. What is it that makes that so special? Because it's time that we start to remind the people in Washington, D.C., why we sent them there and fire them if they don't get it. Let's take a quick break, just a real quick break here. When we come back, we're going to speak with Congressman Mike Bost about the speaker race in just a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
WindowWorld.com. Window World reminds you that when you shop for your replacement windows at Window World, you're getting the best for less. It is a window that many St. Louisans just like you have entrusted to be installed in their home. They offer lifetime warranties that back their promise to you that you're getting a quality product for less. It covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. They are confident in their double strength glass that gives it the strength not commonly used in replacement windows. So you're getting this top quality and you're doing it at a great value. Reach out to Window World by calling 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800, and start the process today. Whether you need to replace one window or all of the windows, it's a smart investment to choose shopping at Window World. They offer 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. So when you give them a call, tell them the Annie Fry Show sent you and start your conversation today. 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. Get your free estimate by giving them a call. Visit them online at windowworld.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save $50 to $1,725 and carrier cool cash rebates on qualifying new high-efficiency furnace or HVAC system. For details and to get in your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're grateful for your time here this beautiful afternoon here in St. Louis. We appreciate you being with us. We had Jason Chaffetz on in the 12 o'clock hour if you want to check the Annie Fry Show podcast there. We just got done speaking with economist Steve Moore. And now we are joined by Congressman Mike Bost. He is the representative from Illinois' 12th District. He's also Brad's representative, and he's on with us to talk about the speaker race. Congressman, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you.
Well, Annie, thanks for having me on this afternoon.
You got a speaker yet? Can you break some news here right now? No,
we're, we really went through some, I voted for Jim Jordan until he was finally decided that they weren't going to give him the 217 votes that he needed. There we go.
Yeah.
I should have that drilled into my head by now. So also, though, then now what we're doing is this evening we have 9 candidates that are going to come before us, and then we will have a secret ballot tomorrow, and then we'll start whittling it down until one of them, I hope, gets 217. There's plenty of good people in there. Just so you know, I've not kept this secret from anybody on the first ballot, and we'll probably be doing the nomination speech for Jack Berkman. Jack Berkman is a fellow Marine. He's a 3-star general, and right now we're needing some pretty strong leadership. He's the highest-ranking officer that's ever served in Congress. And the reality is we've got to get back to work because you and I talked about this last week. We still have that problem in Israel. We still have a border crisis. We still have everything as far as the budget that needs to be done and the farm bill that needs to get done. And we have got to sit down and quit acting like children and actually get somebody elected as speaker.
You know, Congressman, from where we sit here watching just the snippets that we, of course, get through the media, and we're always grateful for people like you and your colleagues who are willing to talk to the people in your districts and your constituents to tell us your view of it. It feels kind of like we're moving more on to the silly season side of this process than getting to the actual point where somebody's going to be able to get 217 votes.
Right.
Because it doesn't feel to me like the votes that have been taken so much have been simply, I vote yes because I like this person or no because I don't like this person. It seems like there's a lot of other baggage that surrounds whomever it is going to get the eventual speakership. Talk to me about the baggage that exists, what people are struggling to get over.
The baggage that exists is the fact that there was a group that put us in this spot in the first place by joining with the Democrats to vacate the chair. Then you have the fact that Steve Scalise got the votes in conference, a clear majority of the votes. And Annie, let me tell you this. So whenever I first came to Congress, there are certain procedural moves that you're taught off the start. One is the procedural move that if the Democrats offer a motion to recommit, you vote no on that if you are in the majority. And if there's going to be a rule, not the bill, but the rule, then you make a vote to pass the rule, even if you won't be voting for the bill, because it's a procedural vote. Likewise, when you go in the room, like we're going to go in again tomorrow, and the vote is a clear winner, then you go to the floor, and whether you supported that person or not, you vote for that person on the floor. And that is the way it has always been able to work. And the reason it always works is because when you're in the majority, you have to act like you're in the majority. And when you have a slim majority, you have to work together, regardless of personalities. It's kind of like being on a baseball team or any other team. You don't have to like everybody on the team, but you've got to work together to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. And that's where we're at. And all the childish stuff and the infighting and all of that, leave it someplace else, but let's get a speaker.
We're speaking with Congressman Mike Bost, United States Congressman for Illinois' 12th District. What about the motion to vacate rule? One vote to vacate. Is that being discussed as part of this new process to change?
Everybody's frustrated with it because of the way it worked out. But, Annie, that's not a new single person. I've studied it very closely because at first I thought it was, but that has been the rule of a motion to vacate can be done by any member, but it was only used in 1906 when Speaker Joe Cannon used it on himself to prove a point because it was the nuclear option. And the only time that was taken away was during Nancy Pelosi's reign. She actually went ahead and changed it. And I don't remember whether it was 20 or 30 or what the count was. And then we got rid of that rule when Kevin took over and came back to what was always been, which is everybody can make a motion to vacate. Now, the problem is that in today's world with social media and 24-hour news networks, we have too many of our colleagues that try to get onto, get likes on their Facebook or get time on some 24-hour news network, and they're willing to make foolish choices to do it. And that's can you think about that, though?
Yeah.
In all these years of having that motion on the book, in the rules, no one used it, like I said, except Joe Cannon on himself in 1906, because people thought about what the consequences were of their actions. And I guess we just don't have that now.
We're speaking with Congressman Mike Bost. We have a poll up today on our show, on our YouTube channel while we're live streaming this. And the poll is, who will be the next Speaker of the House? Is it going to be somebody who's currently a representative in the House, or will it be someone else? You think that it
can be.
You think
it can be someone else?
Is that possible? You think that is part of the conversation?
I don't know that it is. I don't think that's the wisest move. You always know it's out there, but I don't think it's ever been done. I guess there's a whole lot of things that haven't been done over the last few weeks, and I guess, anything can happen.
Yeah. We're on an unprecedented stretch of unprecedented.
The freshman and sophomore class have seen more of making of history than most of anybody else. That's for sure.
How cognizant are the Republicans in the House of Representatives right now that the Democrats have 212 votes for Hakeem Jeffries? Right. They've been in lockstep. It's a very top-down. They get their marching orders. They do. And, some people think that's the greatest thing. Some people think it's the worst thing. But if the quorum changes, if 5 Republicans get sick of this, and I guess decide they're not running for re-election anyway, how much of a factor is it in the conversations that are having right now that Hakeem Jeffries is standing there smiling with 212 votes?
Sure. It could be a danger. If we don't get together here and make a decision, I would not make that choice, just so you know. I will be following our conference and voting for whoever, and I always have. And because I feel it's my obligation to the conference. But it could happen that, a few of the Republicans all of a sudden, remember, as long as we're working towards a speaker, that their motion to either file or whatever, there's a privileged motion they can go to. But as long as Patrick holds the chair and knows what we're doing, that's another reason why they went ahead and did not go in this weekend, is because the danger of several members that we had that had left town. And I did not leave town, by the way, but there were several that did, and therefore we would not go in because of the danger of exactly what you just said.
We had Jason Chaffetz on in the first hour, and he gave us his thoughts. I'm sure you've heard, a lot of people who are, of course, talking about this and the consequence. He has an interesting perspective, having served before. But I'm curious what you think about the party as a whole. We are more than a year out from the November 2024 election. There are going to be so many big news stories that hit before that happens that I really don't know that this is going to be an impact the way maybe some people are fundraising on the idea that it will.
Yeah. What it does is it gives them a great opportunity to use these WinRed or the other platforms to raise money, and many of them were doing it whenever they're making these motions, right at the same time they're making their motions.
Is it possible from what you can tell us of what you've heard in closed door meetings, and there's a lot of consternation in the party right now. Is it possible this is a healthy exercise and that the Republican Party in Congress will be stronger after this is concluded?
I don't know that would be the case, but I know that we were doing very, very, very good things before this came about. And you've heard me rattle those off before, but we still have a lot of things that need to be done. And so we just got to get back to it. And time will tell, history will tell on whether or not this was something that built the party or tore the party. And right now I feel I don't know about the party as a whole, but it's sure tearing up some very close friendships.
Yeah. Last question before we let you go, and we're really grateful for your time. We're speaking with Congressman Mike Bost. You voted for Kevin McCarthy in the initial vote in January. You've supported him as far as I can see leading up to this point in time. You didn't vote him out of the speakership.
Right.
What is he doing as the person who's vacated? How do you feel like he's handling this situation?
He is the adult in the room. He really is. When he stands up to speak, everybody gets quiet. Well, most everybody, and lets him speak because why? Because he lives it. And here's what you need to know about speakers. Speakers aren't, yes, they're public figures, but remember, they are given this nation's inside information that they have swore to uphold the Constitution, but they also know what problems are out there and what problems are lurking. And once you had that knowledge, because remember, you're the third heartbeat to the presidency.
Yeah.
Once you've had that knowledge, it instills in most of the speakers that I've known over the years a sense of calm, that when they speak, most people calm down, and just out of the respect of the speakership, that and he is the calming force in the room right now.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. We are appreciative of you sharing it with us. We're going to keep bugging you and keep ringing your phone and talking to your people because we appreciate the inside information, Congressman. Look forward to hearing
Glad to do it
when some progress is made.
All right. Look forward to talking to you then.
Sounds great. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congressman Mike Bost, the representative from Illinois' 12th District, and he's also the chair of the House Veterans Affairs Committee. He's done a lot of great work there, and he's been very transparent with us this whole process. And we're grateful that he focuses and gives us the time. I mean, for the people who are listening at home, Brad's booking guests for the show every day, just so that you understand how fast-paced but also long-term planning Brad's job is. You just booked Victor Davis Hansen, for November.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to get him on. And
early November.
Yeah, like the 2nd. So put it on your calendar. Just pencil it in. But we're constantly working to get some great minds. There's no ask that we're not willing to make, even though if they came back and said yes, I don't know that we would know what we would do with ourselves in some instances. But when it comes to somebody like Congressman Bost and, the other people who the other shows have on, we all have our own relationships and we all kind of are in our lanes here on 97.1. We have a lot of great contacts. These people come on our show because of you. It isn't because of me. It might be a little bit because of Brad's charm and his willingness and persistence to get them on the show. But what you need to understand is Congressman Bost has made himself available pretty much. If there's, unless he's voting or in a meeting, he tells us yes. And that's the way a lot of these other guests are that we have on. And it's because you are valuable. And this is what I want to continue to drill into my brain and your brain in the next year as we lead up to the next election. We have to firmly grasp onto the power that we have as people in this country. Congressman Bost is one of 435 members in the United States House of Representatives, and he serves you. You are the important person in this equation, and we need to not let go of it. And if we have let go of it, we need to get it back and remind the people who serve us in America that's how it works in America. And we need to preserve that, and we need to cognizantly say to ourselves, you work for me, and this is what I want you to understand about how I feel about this. Congressman Bost knows that people are very frustrated about it, and I remind him about that anytime I get a chance to talk to him, that this, like I said before, this does look like silly season. And he's aware of that, and it matters to him how you feel. So when he comes on to the Annie Fry show, it's really about you. It's not about me. It's not about him. And we're grateful that he is always there to answer that call and to speak to you when he can be available, and he has made himself very available to us. All right, let's take a quick break. Get Ryan Wiggins back in the studio here. I have to tell you that I am very uncomfortable today, and I'm going to tell you why when we come back. It might not seem like a big deal to you, but it makes me very uncomfortable, and we'll get your thoughts on it. I'm going to specifically ask Ryan Wiggins if I should feel uncomfortable about this when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Tell you what, you got to be getting good sleep, and if you're not, I would consider, if I were you, talking to Dr. Ty Parker in Fountains Family Dentistry, just getting a consult about whether you have sleep apnea, because it is much more common than you think it is. I did one of those things today where I woke up at about 5:30, and it's not that I was, I couldn't go back to sleep. It was just that I had gotten enough sleep. How often can you say that you wake up early because you go, oh, I'm just too refreshed? It happens because of Dr. Ty Parker and because of the oral appliance that I've been wearing for about 10 years, maybe even more than that now, because I have sleep apnea. I wake up refreshed, and if you're getting older and you find maybe like memory problems are plaguing you, that could be related to not getting enough or at least enough quality sleep. Have a conversation with my buddy, Dr. Ty Parker, good friend of mine and a really good guy in Fairview Heights, Illinois. You start at fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
At Diamonds Direct, nobody tells our story better than our own associates.
I hear from customers that come in how shocked they are. They're able to, only with Diamonds Direct, afford a diamond that they never in their wildest dreams thought they'd be able to get.
People are just thrilled with what we offer.
We have exponentially more to choose from. The resources that we have all the way from our wholesale roots, really untouchable.
When you come here to Diamonds Direct, you know it's something special. You know it's something that is one of a kind, and you got that at such a phenomenal value.
To be a jeweler and have this kind of firepower, we have all these mountings, all this selection, all these diamonds, and incredible prices is just unmatched.
And I think our customers appreciate that we are so open and honest about every part of this process.
What they're surprised by is the extent that we go to provide an unparalleled, luxurious shopping experience.
This company has a 60-year heritage in diamond cutting, diamond mining, diamond wholesaling. So there's no possible way to get any closer to the source than with Diamonds Direct.
We won't be undersold.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
It looks like wood, it feels like wood, but it's maintenance-free. It's luxurious James Hardie siding. And during Banner Construction's 30th anniversary event, you get same-as-cash financing on Hardie products and Pella windows. Let Banner Construction transform your home into the envy of the neighborhood. Call now and have Banner's design team give you some great options and a free quote. 314-569-1050. Online, bannerconstruction.com. That's 569-1050. And have a banner day.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Annie Fry, this is the Annie Fry Show. Her Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is who will be the next Speaker of the House.
So much time.
That's all right.
Is that your go-to
This
when
is
you
no, this is
are caught off
promotion for
guard?
you.
Like
This is great publicity
you're in
for
an
you is what
argument
this is.
with your wife and you start to panic. You're like, Annie Fry, Annie
Katie,
Fry.
no, Katie. Who will be the next Speaker of the House? Current House Representative. We just talked about this. Well, you guys did with Mike Bost, and he shed some light on it. I won't tell you how to vote, though. Someone from outside the House is your other choice. Those are your two choices. Who will be the next Speaker of the House? Will it be someone from inside the House, or is the call coming from outside the House? That is today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. The time is 1:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Please, baby, can't you see my mind's a burning hell? I got razors ripping and tearing and stripping my heart apart as well. Tonight you told me that you wait for something new. Some other woman is looking like something that might be good for you. Go on and hold her till the screaming is gone. Go on, believe her when she tells you nothing's wrong.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. All right, I'm going to tell you why I'm uncomfortable here in a second, and I'm going to ask Ryan Wiggins if I should be in just a second. Have I made you sufficiently uncomfortable?
Yeah, because I kind of just assumed it was my fault.
Oh.
But it's sounding more now like it isn't.
Why? That sounds like projection.
It's just an assumption of guilt is what it is.
Okay. Do you how frequently do you feel guilty?
It's either none of the time or all the time. I'm not really sure.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Before I get to that, I'm trying to on the break order school pictures for my kids, and I'm going to put this through. Hopefully it works. But I'm trying to order them, and I'm searching coupon codes because you can get discounts or whatever. And I have a conundrum. I've applied 3 coupon codes. It's accepted all of them. It just keeps applying discounts.
Really?
I feel guilty about it.
Oh, no.
I know you won't.
Don't worry about that. If you find one that works, that's incredible.
I mean, the original cost was $50. It was going to be $53.98 plus. By the way, this is highway robbery for some photos that I don't even want to buy. But there's a parental obligation that
That's
if
why
you
you-
don't buy pictures, that's why it's outrageous. You're taking advantage of my guilt as a parent
Yep.
for being insufficient.
That's why you should not feel guilty about that at all.
So I just like, how about this code? Yep, that worked. $4.58 off a total. This one, $8.26. This one, $8.10. I'm over $20 saved right now.
I think I'd keep going if I were you.
I can't. I'm afraid to. I got it down to 41, and I think that's still ridiculous, but I'm going to pay it.
It's amazing that you found a code to work, because if you just type in a random business promo code, those sites that pop up, they almost never work. And they always say, oh, this one's been tested 15 times today. It's like, okay.
You need to use the plugin Honey. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, and I had it on my computer for a while, and it did some good stuff with my Amazon price. It tracks your Amazon prices on stuff in your cart.
People will be like, it's tracking you. Everything's tracking you. Stop it. It's just tracking me and saving me $4 on my Kohl's order.
At least it's doing something for me while it's tracking me.
But anyway, I'm going to finish processing this payment, and I hope that I have just saved over $20.
Is that what you were feeling uncomfortable about?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're just guilty about that.
I feel like I'm taking advantage.
Okay.
In a way that is not right. Which would, I guess, probably be how you define guilt.
Taking advantage of, I'm going to make somebody mad here, but taking advantage is going into somebody's, sporting event, taking a couple pictures, and then being like, okay, $50, please.
Their school pictures.
I know, it's all the same kind of stuff, though.
I don't know. It has been a while since I got my kids' school pictures. Because they end up getting, my son's going to get retakes. My son is 13. I am subjective, but he's a very handsome young man. And he has great hair, but he's also 13, so he has no idea what he's doing with it. Everybody who has a 13-year-old kid or somewhere, I don't know when it starts officially, and I don't know when it ends officially. But if you have a kid, if you have a son, I should put my credit card down and not put it in front of the camera. When you have a son and they've transitioned out of looking like a young boy into looking like a young man, they've got no clue. And the worst part about it is also no desire to present themselves in a way that is, I guess, grown up. Am I saying that the right way? I mean,
Yeah.
you work with youth.
Yeah, to take advantage of their new appearance as a young man.
I mean, you've seen my son grow up over the past, basically 10 minutes. But he went from being a boy
Yes.
to a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man now.
Officially. And he's got the mullet thing. And I've said this on the show before, but my husband in the 90s and in the 2000s, when we started dating and got married, had an obsession with people who were still committed to the mullet.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. We had magnets on our refrigerator with
He
him
had
and
a
stuff.
shirt that he would wear, and it said Mountain Dew on it, but it said Mullet Dew, and it had Billy Ray Cyrus in a cartoon. And I mean, I don't want to trash my husband. I'm not trashing. This is just the way it is. But we'd be in Walmart. If we were walking through an aisle and a mullet came around the corner, he would just stop with his hands down by, just stare, wow. He's so enamored by them.
Yeah.
And he had long hair, but he didn't have a mullet. His hair was long because people kept telling him to cut it. He was that age. So my son wanted to there's kind of a version of a mullet, a 2023 version of a mullet. So I sent him to hair salon with my husband. I don't go because I can't. It's too much pressure, probably for my son. And so I sent him pictures this is what he's looking for. And they're like, oh, yeah, we call it a diet mullet.
Oh.
Yeah. So he has that, but his hair grows so freaking fast that he needs to go back and get his hair cut again. And he didn't have that haircut before he got the picture taken. He just not a good picture. So we're going to work on that. That's not why I feel uncomfortable today.
Oh, okay.
It's just a separate story.
It's just funny because my father-in-law, who has since passed away, one of the only things I remember getting from him was with the first Christmas was a bunch of mullet magnets that we had to put in our fridge because he thought they were so funny. And the only ones I remember are the skullet, which was shaved on top, long in the back.
Yeah.
And then the Kentucky waterfall, which was just this kind of beautiful mullet.
That's you sound like my husband talking.
Yeah, there's other ones too.
I really, honestly, to this day, don't know if my husband loved mullets or hated them. I don't even know.
It's more of an infatuation.
It stopped, a deer in headlights, just wow.
Yeah. There was a website, mulletsgalore.com, and it just listed and gave examples of all the different kinds of mullets out there. It's amazing.
Of all of the things that have resurfaced in fashion, I think most of us thought the mullet wouldn't make it. And it is.
It's back.
I mean, it's almost been back for long enough that it's about out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You want to know why I'm uncomfortable?
I still do.
So have you ever seen me wear green before? I'm sure you guys are paying a lot of attention to what I wear.
I have no idea.
Yes.
You have seen me wear green
Yes.
before? The green jacket.
You have a green Adidas jacket, and then
Yeah, your master's jacket.
Yep.
It's when you won in 2006.
Yeah. Left arm is just a little bit longer than the right.
Yeah. I bought this sweater. I buy stuff off of Facebook Swap all the time for my kids, and I bought this sweater, and it is Kelly green. It doesn't get much more green than this. I don't own, other than that Adidas jacket, which is a jacket, which is a great way to explain it.
Oh, I was supposed to make fun of you there.
I know.
Doggone, I missed it. My bad.
I got this one. I'll
Okay.
take care of myself being stupid. I don't own anything green, but I really like wearing these sweaters because in here you never know if it's going to be like blazing hot or freezing cold. And I am uncomfortable wearing this color green.
Why?
I don't know. Because I don't have anything. I don't know. Do you pay attention, men? Do you pay attention to colors that look good on you? There's that one flesh colored shirt that you have.
I don't wear that one a lot anymore because people make fun of me on the live chat here.
It's just the lighting.
In life, I'm fine. Here, they're brutal. You guys are brutal.
Do you wear that shirt out still, just in normal rotation?
Not a whole lot because I
nothing
wear
wrong with that
schlubbier
shirt.
clothes on the weekends than I do
Oh.
on regular days. So this is my nice stuff, just so you know.
My mother-in-law just texted me. She said she noticed right away that I was wearing green.
Did she say that she thinks it makes you pop?
She didn't say anything. She only said she noticed. You know what that means.
Ooh, I think I'd retire that shirt. Just get rid of the whole thing. Cut your hair.
There's an exclamation point at the end. She didn't say it looked nice or not. It was just she noticed.
I'd get rid of the headphones. Everything.
The headphones. These
Yeah.
headphones are great.
If you don't like one piece of the outfit, though, you never know how it's going to all come together in the future. I'd say just scrap it all.
None of what you just said is applicable.
Well, I mean, you asked for my
Do you
advice.
have, Brad, do you have colors as
Yes.
a man? Do you have colors you wear and colors you won't wear?
Yes, I don't wear yellow.
Why?
I think yellow looks bad on me.
Why?
I don't know. It looks too much like my regular skin tone. I'm a big fan of contrast. I know I'm setting myself out here, but I like contrast in colors. Colors have to complement but contrast one another, and it makes things pop, and I like it.
Is that what you think, Ryan?
Yep. I think that you need to contrast, and it makes you pop.
Do you like my sweater?
I like it.
I like it.
You want to wear it?
No.
Not that much. Oh, I see how it is. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you need a new bath or shower, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or zero interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis.
Hey guys, Glover here for a brand new sponsor to the show, Master.com. That's MASTOR.com. If your phone system does not allow you to be anywhere in the world, if it is not connected to the cloud, if it is not partnered with Nuso, which is a St. Louis company and a nationwide leader in cloud-based phone systems, then you are with the wrong company. We are local. We're family-owned. We are great at what we do. Once again, find us at Mastor, MASTOR.com. That's Master.com for the best phone service.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
2 more hostages released. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Sources confirming to Fox News that 2 Israeli hostages have been released from Gaza. This follows the release of 2 Americans on Friday. Both releases by Hamas following mediation efforts by the Qataris. Reporters asking State Department spokesman Matthew Miller earlier today what's in it for Qatar.
Qatar is a longtime partner of ours who has responded to our request because I think they believe that innocent civilians ought to be freed.
A spokesman for the armed wing of Hamas says the Israelis released are 2 women released in part over poor health, also claiming the enemy, in their words, had refused to receive them last Friday. Israeli officials have not directly addressed that. The U.S. remains concerned about a possible escalation of attacks by Iranian-backed militants in the Middle East, including on U.S. forces in the region.
At the direction of President Biden, the Secretary of Defense has ordered the military to take steps to prepare for this, to ensure that we're postured appropriately, both in terms of being able to defend our forces and respond decisively as needed.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby also says they will now not allow Iran to deny responsibility. Investigators in Detroit say there are persons of interest, but no one in custody in the killing of a synagogue president. 40-year-old Samantha Wall found stabbed to death outside her home after attending a wedding over the weekend. Police Chief James E. White won't say how many times she was stabbed.
That number is important for us to keep close. It could be the one piece of evidence that breaks the case open if we're talking to the right suspect that would know that no one else but the police does. So right now we're not going to release that information.
White says they're confident with the information so far that it was not a hate crime. However, they're not ruling anything out. State police and the FBI also investigating. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Summer feel again on this Monday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, a good 10 to 12 degrees warmer than yesterday. Kind of windy, 78 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, breezy and 62. Tuesday, still windy and warm, 79 degrees, but partly to mostly cloudy skies. Might be a spot shower, but don't expect much on Tuesday. Expect periods of showers Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you are looking for a wonderful gift for someone special in your life, may I suggest a pair of diamond studs from the Diamond Shop. This is not just a normal gift that you give somebody. It's a statement gift. They don't even have to be like the biggest diamond studs in the whole shop at the Diamond Shop. You can get a starter set of diamond studs, and it is going to mean something really special to that person in your life. If you're looking to reward yourself, if you are looking for something beautiful for yourself right now, the Diamond Studs, I'm going to call it a program. I don't know if they call it a program or not, but at the Diamond Shop, what they do is you can get your starter set of Diamond Studs or wherever you want to get into the program, you pay for them. And then when you decide, you know what, it's time to level up, you take those studs back, they accept them back and the value of them back and apply it towards your upgrade. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do for Christmas right now and all month long in October. And we're getting close to the end of October, if you can even believe that. They have 50% off all their diamond studs. You can participate in their trade-in and trade-up opportunities. It's all there online at thediamondshop.net. Check them out to see what you can save on this October at the Diamond Shop. Go to thediamondshop.net.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Fall into a hiring spree with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get the Mark Reardon special 3-room Zero Res clean starting at $129. You can also get $50 off your air duct cleaning when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Fact-checking the fact-checkers daily. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture. Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, who will be the next Speaker of the House? Will it be the current House representative or someone outside the House? Newt Gingrich weighed in on the issue. Let's listen in.
When they get back here, they should stay in. They should go into a conference, not come out, bring food in, and stay there. A very simple test. Can you get 217 votes? They shouldn't bring anybody out until they have 217. And second, that 217 has to be committed not just to elect a speaker, but to stick together for the next 5 or 6 months. They got big decisions coming down the road. There's a very real danger that they'll elect somebody, and 3 or 4 or 5 weeks from now, you're going to have a group of people blow up and decide to go back into the same mess.
So we spoke with Congressman Mike Bost at 1:25 today, and you can find that on the Annie Fry Show podcast. And he was talking about the process and the timeline for the next coming days. And I think he said they have 9 candidates. He's going to make a speaker. He's going to make a nomination for a specific one of those 9. And he talked about that in that interview with us. So I encourage you to hear what he had to say at 1:25 on the Annie Fry Show podcast. But Byron Donalds is another one of the options that is up.
My pitch is very simple. First, we got to get back to work immediately. We have to get these appropriation bills done. We must secure our border. If we're going to continue government funding, the border must be secured, and the White House has to realize that and take us seriously. Number 2, we have a true ability to expand our majorities past this Congress. We can do that with strong, direct leadership where the White House knows where we stand, the American people see the strategies and the work that the Republican majority is trying to get done. I totally believe that. And number 3, we can have unity in our conference. It's going to start with a fresh voice in leadership, working with all of our colleagues to accomplish the mission that our voters sent here to do.
So I think Byron Donalds is a very interesting person to consider for the representation. I know that people are talking about him not being far up in leadership, but it seems to me like the establishment is the problem. And establishment with a little e, it's not necessarily, when I say that, about what we define as the swamp, but the people who have worked their way up in the party, it just seems like as though there's some people who are not interested in that. They want drastic change. At the same time, in every instance outside of the House of Representatives, if you're working in an office right now, if you've worked in an office over the course of time and you spent some time working there, there is an element of seniority that gets established in any circumstance where, I mean, even if you're talking about like church leadership, if you've ever been to a voters meeting at a church, in a church organization, or served on some sort of board in an organization that you're passionate about, it could be secular, it could be non-secular. There are people who you look to who have been around the block for a while. And I can think of, in all of those instances, whether it be your employment, whether it be a religious affiliation that you have, or maybe some sort of charitable community group that you're a participant in, the people who have the most established connection to whatever that entity is, a lot of people look to them and just kind of let them guide and advise and lead the way, which is smart because they have the wisdom of being there before. But other people will always have a bit of concern that doing it the same way over and over and over, forever and ever, amen, is not always the smartest way to move forward. So the conflict that exists in the House of Representatives isn't inherently wrong just because somebody has been there for a long time doesn't inherently make them bad. But I also think it's possible that someone who hasn't been around the block as many times as, say, a Mitch McConnell, that maybe there's something to be said about experience and wisdom over the length of time isn't the only way that you can present yourself as somebody who can be the right man or woman for the job at the right time.
Typically, it's the candidate for president when you have a presidential election who becomes obviously the most visible person in your party. And we don't know who that's going to be yet. In the meantime, we have divided government. We have a job to do. The election's not until next year. Dabbling in the presidential election is something I'm just not going to do. I don't think it's productive.
Yeah, it wouldn't be productive, Mitch McConnell. Everyone kind of squarely understands how established you are in this system. And most people, I think most people in the Republican Party, whether they like Mitch McConnell and what he's accomplished, and I will tell you that Mitch McConnell is one of the greatest factors in Donald Trump's win in the 2016 election. Because Mitch McConnell held back that Supreme Court nomination for Merrick Garland, who is a horrific attorney general. Thank God that Mitch McConnell did what he did. But that put that power in the hands of the president, whomever that president was going to be, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, to nominate that position. And that was a very here and now moment for America to say, well, do you really want Hillary Clinton to have this nomination right out the gate? And the answer was no, for a lot of people. A lot of individuals cast their ballot for Donald Trump with a big question mark in their brain when they did it, saying, I do not know what I'm going to get out of this. But I know what I'm going to get if I vote for her, and I am not with her. Donald Trump won, and Mitch McConnell had a huge, huge part in that process. But we don't have a government right now where people know when it's time to hang it up and to sit down and let the next generation come up. So I think it's a conflict at both ends of the spectrum. The super established and the young whippersnappers, if you will, sounds like something an old person would say, that make their way into government through these newfangled ways of getting elected in social media and being in front of cameras, even if it's the camera on their phone to talk to the people. There's a disconnect there. I don't think that that's unusual. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, who will be the next Speaker of the House? Is it a current House representative, or is it someone who's going to come from outside the House? Brad, your thoughts on today's YouTube live chat poll. What's your vote?
I just can't see them picking somebody from outside the House. I think it'll be somebody from within the House. And I do think that it's kind of like what Jason Chaffetz and even Mike Bost was saying that they will come to an understanding. They will find somebody that you'll get to the point where, like, I know I can't get the perfect person. This is the most like what I can get.
How important is it for you as a constituent, as somebody who's watching this? How important is it for you, for them to figure out all of that stuff behind closed doors?
I would say I would rather them do it like that, but it's not a deal breaker if they don't, as long as they can come to an agreement. And I have no problem with them showing us how, for lack of a better term, show us how the sausage is made. Like, I found the McCarthy debates whenever he was initially elected, I found that fascinating to watch them go and talk to one another and figure it out there on the House floor. What do you want? What can I give you? That sort of thing. Deals are made, I'm okay with that happening. But what I'm not okay with is the kind of like what it's been past couple times. It just seems like it's been very petulant and foot stomping and sort of thing where it's just, I'm just not doing it because that guy wants that guy and I'm not going to vote for that guy. And there's nothing that they can say that'll make me want to vote for that guy. Or if they do it behind closed doors, they come out and they got to vote and bang 217 and they're ready to go. I'm good with that too.
What kind of statement does it make if they take care of their business that way? Where if they go behind closed doors and, I mean, I don't care if they beat each other up in there, get it done, figure it out. And if they come out onto the House floor and they make their nomination speech and they vote and it is unanimous, done.
Yeah, it shows that they can get together and they can work together as a team, which is what they really need to do. I appreciate that. Either way, though, I think that that's proven whether you do that behind closed doors or you do it on the House floor. We can work together as a team. We can come together as a team. We can do things. I mean, like, to use the sports analogy, which Bost used, if you see people fighting in the dugout, but then they can come together and they win the game, and at the end of the game, they win the game and they give one another, they're able to put their arm around one another and hug it out, great. I love seeing that. What I don't want to see is them just completely implode in front of everybody.
And I'd rather they fight in the locker room.
Yeah.
Not in the dugout. The next Speaker of the House, in the House of Representatives now or not, Ryan? What do you think?
Inside. Let me rephrase that because there are only two choices, and I literally said the exact opposite of what I was thinking. I believe
you need to work this out.
Yeah, I do.
It would be good for us to work this out in private, not
in
public like this.
We're we're in communications, though. This is what we do.
Next time, just so that you're fully prepared, what we'll do is we will print out a piece of paper that has the poll on it with the options. So
like at 12 o'clock?
So you could, no, even before that.
Okay.
So you could think about it ahead of time, and then when it comes to you, when we ask you this question, you'll be prepared. We should have done that for you.
That'd be greatly appreciated.
I'll get you one in your office and one that I'll leave in front of your computer in here so that you can find them easily.
All these things would be very helpful.
Do you really print out two for him every day?
Indeed, I
do.
he
does.
Holy.
He puts one here, and he puts one in my office.
Ryan gets two show sheets?
Yeah.
You should put one in the stall he uses, too.
I don't know which stall he uses, otherwise I would.
I don't know how many are in the men's room.
Plus, then I use it in inappropriate ways.
On the door.
For a good time call.
Man, I was going to ask how many inappropriate ways are there, which is a question that I do not want answers to.
I just said there's two.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, one of them is to put it on the wall.
Question.
Anyway.
Oh, my Lord, have mercy.
To answer your question.
Yes.
I do believe it'll be from inside the house.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
2 out of 3
I was
Ryans
sure the
agree.
first time I said it, and I just said the wrong thing. I think it'll be inside the house. I said this, I believe, on air last week, or maybe just talking with you guys. I don't remember. I think it was on air. That I believe it'll be somebody without a name. Because I think that gives everybody fair coverage.
Think it's going to be anonymous?
No. Now you're twisting my words.
They've hacked the speaker vote.
It's somebody with no actual birth certificate or name.
They come up to speak, and they've got the backlighting so you can't see their face, and their voice is all deep.
Trying to act like a mannequin and holding that gavel.
We elect this guy. Thank you for your votes.
They wheel him out. Only person we can agree
He's
on.
in the witness protection program. We're sorry we can't say who it is, but he is the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, or she. Who are we to say?
Yeah, we don't know. They've deepened this person's voice so much, we don't know.
What is a woman?
Yeah, and who cares, really? But I think it'll be somebody who will give everybody cover that they're not on the record for Jim Jordan or against him or Kevin McCarthy became that. I don't think he originally was, but he became that because of Matt Gaetz and because of all the problems with the first round. I think this will be somebody that's well-liked within the chamber that everybody can kind of agree on, and I do think they'll come out and have that done before the next vote. I do think your wish will be granted there.
I don't know if anyone I am going to go against my gut and vote not with you guys, just so that we can have another vote on here, someone outside the House. And I'm intrigued by the thought of it.
It is an intriguing
I
thought.
think that there's
outside of Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is not going to be the Speaker of the House. Stop it.
I
told you, I said off the air, I do think that if war breaks out, if we are dramatically attacked, the best way for Donald Trump to become the Speaker of the House is if it gets real buck wild here in the homeland, because that person is 2 people removed from the presidency.
You think that would be enough to unite the House to say we need somebody who could step into a leadership role?
Well, if he's going to be the nominee for the presidency and the Republicans in the House can't agree on that, we're toast. We're screwed. And Donald Trump was a fantastic leader. And he would be a part of the conversations. Like when we were listening to Congressman Bost talk about, I asked Congressman Bost, like, give us a little inside look on how Kevin McCarthy is handling all of this chaos. And he had some really interesting takes on that and really interesting thoughts on that. But what the Speaker of the House is briefed on, Donald Trump would be in those meetings. And if we're in a position to have to defend ourselves, I mean, I'm talking like worst case scenario about what's going on in Israel and how open our southern border is. In that instance, I find it incredibly compelling to think that Donald Trump could be the person who is in those conversations and is privy to that knowledge. And that is the antithesis of your scenario, which is we just need to get across the finish line. Let's get somebody in there who's, I was going to say beige. And when I mean beige, I mean neutral. Unexciting. It's not a skin color comment. Because I'm a big fan of Byron Donalds. But I mean, like maybe what's ecru? Is that a color? Is that a boring color?
Ecru? Sepia tone?
Speaking in paint.
Sepia.
What is the color ecru? It's a shade of beige. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not outside. It's actually more within the realm of possibility than it has been in as long as I can remember, that something buck wild would end up happening, that we would need immediacy in competence and leadership to a much higher degree than fundraising, whipping votes. Donald Trump could come in then. Other than that, there's no way that Donald Trump is going to be in that position. He wouldn't be able to do it. He couldn't do the job. And so you can't put him there. I mean, it would be, if I'm advising Donald Trump, I'm like, no way, no how. If the question becomes, sir, I don't even know if we're going to make it to an election in November of 2024 if we don't have somebody in the room, then he basically gets to go in there and be a leader. He can't do that right now. It's not in the realm of possibility right now. But I do really like the idea of somebody outside of the current House of Representatives going in, slapping them around. I mean, some people think Newt Gingrich is the swamp. I like Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich has done this before. The times were different, but he's done it before. I think he does understand what it takes to win. And he also, I think, has what it takes to tell the people on both, like the 8 that include Matt Gaetz, that I'm putting in the same smack them around meeting as the 22 who wouldn't vote for Jim Jordan. You're all the same people to me right now. All of you. Get a plan. Have a plan. Act with a plan. And I think somebody like Newt Gingrich or Lee Zeldin might be that person too. People have spoken highly of him. Jason Chaffetz did today on our show. That you put somebody in there and you use this next 73 days until the election, 379 days until the election, to get together the plan for what we do into the 2024 election and the next 4 years. Get a plan. And no, I don't think that is coming from within the House. But that doesn't mean they won't elect someone. But I would vote because it doesn't matter. It's a really great endorsement of the YouTube live chat poll that it's going to come from outside the house. I think that's going to be a small minority. Let's take a quick break. I want to know what you think about that. Leave us a comment on the Annie Fry YouTube channel here. And let's see. I was going to read that comment, but it was about my pizza cutting skills.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that at some point today, though.
Mike said Byron Donalds would be good on our YouTube channel. Linda said, put the top 3 in a hat and draw one. I'm not mad at that. I'm okay with that. Pick somebody for the love. Betsy said, I have no idea on the poll. Guess they like being the laughingstock, tired of it all, which is a sentiment I think a lot of us can get behind. All right, we're going to get the blizzards out of the freezer in this break, and we're going to taste the blizzards that have been frozen since Thursday. We're going to see if they still pass the test. Maybe Ryan will make fools of us all.
Oh, they'll pass the test. Don't worry.
But the question is, would they be as fresh as a new one?
Oh, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
They're getting eaten.
They might be. They might be just fine. We'll find out at 2:45, along with the results of the YouTube live chat poll. A lot more Annie Fry Show coming at you. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I'm a revenue man, want a granddaddy bad. Headed up a holler of everything had. For my time, but I've been told you never come back from Copperhead Road.
AirComfortService.com. Go check out their website, and anytime you need to have some sort of HVAC need met, you're going to be able to find the info you need to get with Air Comfort Service to get the problem solved. You can call them as well. Mention the Annie Fry Show when you give them a ring at 314-513-0091. We like to send you to Air Comfort Service because we're really grateful for their support, and I'm a customer of theirs. I'm a very happy and satisfied customer of theirs. I've invested a little bit of my money, of course, in replacing the air conditioning and the furnace unit in our house. We've also had them install a water heater, and they've done an AeroSeal duct sealing in my home. I am a happy paying customer of Air Comfort Service, and I stand by the work that they've done for us. If you are looking at your furnace right now, and I think it's supposed to be getting cold maybe over this weekend, is that right? Throughout the week, it's supposed to get chilly. Make sure that you don't wait until it gets like freezing pipes chilly in your house to get the furnace issue solved, because everyone else that's waiting for those calls, flooding the maintenance lines, you want to make sure that the furnace is in good working order right now. Check the filter, change the filter, have them come out and do the maintenance on it that is needed to avoid those costly repairs later. And if you do need to replace it like I did a few years ago, Air Comfort Service is there to answer the call. 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Explore Vladimir Putin's formative years in the new Odyssey original podcast About a Boy, the story of Vladimir Putin. Join host Julia Yaffe, Puck founding partner and Washington correspondent, as she explores why Putin's childhood is critical to understanding the Russian president and the brutal social code by which he lives, and how that biography can help inform what he might do next in the war against Ukraine. Listen and follow About a Boy, the story of Vladimir Putin, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Your home has made you equity rich on paper, and you're planning on using that cash to retire, travel, or just downsize into a new place that's paid off. Good for you. But the longer you wait, the greater chance higher interest rates could chip away at your home's value. While your home value is still high, the time to act isn't now. With TrueHold. TrueHold buys your home now, and you can stay in your home for as long as you want. TrueHold buys your home for its best current value, and you bank the cash. Cash to do whatever you like, while Truehold takes care of property taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Don't miss this opportunity to cash in on your equity and stay in your home as long as you'd like as a renter. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-217-1155. That's 800-217-1155. 800-217-1155.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall is here. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home when cold weather arrives. Get in your comfort zone with the heating system check. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You don't have to punch it in.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
You can just say it.
Hey, Alexa, hey, Siri.
Play 97.1 FM Talk. Available on your smart speaker any time of day. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
All my life, I've been told I belong at the end of the line with all the other not quite, with all the never get it right. But it turns out they're the ones you were looking for all this time. 'Cause I'm just a nobody, trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul. Ever since you rescued me, you gave my heart a song to sing. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I posted a picture on my Twitter account yesterday at Annie Fry Show if you want to follow me there on X. That sounds like I'm saying on ecstasy every time I say it out loud.
Like you did something while on X.
I posted there while I was on X.
I get it. Yeah, I went clubbing last night.
I was
on
just going to
X.
say, I mean, I don't even know if ecstasy is still a thing. I don't know what other names there are. I'm not really well versed on drugs.
I think what they call it now, they call it Shirley's Temple. I just made that up.
It's not what I drink when I drink a Shirley's Temple. I posted a picture on Twitter, and there is a possibility that we could just keep calling it Twitter and stop trying to make X happen. Stop trying to make X happen.
That sounds good to me. Let's do that.
Everybody, if you say Twitter, everybody knows what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So does Elon Musk, who owns it.
Yeah.
If you say X, what percentage of people know what I'm talking about?
Almost none.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still twitter.com. So
no, you can go to x.com.
Can you really? They have x.com? That must have cost them a fortune.
Why is this surprising to you? It costs $44 billion.
I didn't know they had that domain, though. But it's, the fact that
he's
it's
had
still...
that domain for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
He was waiting to use it. the fact that it still exists at twitter.com to me gives you license to still call it Twitter.
Okay. What happens if you go to thefacebook.com? The first. That's what it sounds like being Google. It says I can't go there.
Yeah, me too. We got blocked.
Man, maybe it's available.
Maybe it's an X-rated site.
Ew.
You know, not just X, but
This is far cry from what started this conversation.
right. Yeah, I don't know really where we were supposed to
We need a
go.
palate cleanser. What would it be?
I think we need a nice blizzard.
No, don't bring the ice cream
No?
in here.
Okay.
Stop looking at Leah like you can command her to come in here.
No, I was just, looking to see how she was doing. Looking to see if those were out.
Now you're smacking your lips.
Yeah, well, I'm getting hungry. Oh, hey,
No,
hi.
no, don't bring her in here.
No,
That's
she's
not
doing
time.
fine. She
Yeah,
just
of
wanted to
course
let me.
she is.
She's
She's
doing okay.
fantastic. Leah is out there working hard, and you're distracting her
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
being
good job,
a
Leah.
functional employee.
Keep doing the. You know what I should do when I'm not in here? I should stand behind her and tell her, keep doing the work.
Well, somebody should.
Yeah.
That's a great way for you to get bench. She's just gonna bench press
Well,
you and then body
no.
slam
Wait. There's something that can be done here. He can do that to Leah if Brad can do that to Ryan.
you. Ooh, I'm too busy to do that.
Yeah, he's too busy.
Too bad. And there went the show.
I want to do it, but
Sorry.
Maybe we could hire somebody to babysit Ryan.
Nah. Not
Actually,
here.
maybe we could have Leah do that to you. You could do it to Leah. Leah could watch you.
I don't really love that idea. Let's stick to the original plan that I came up with.
You just want to eat ice cream.
I want to eat ice cream. I want to stand behind people, tell them what they're doing wrong or right.
It's important for you to understand that when we do test the frozen blizzards that have been frozen since Thursday, we took them out and tasted them on Friday. And if fresh is a 10, what would you rate the blizzards on Friday? 24 hours of freezing. Brad first.
I'll go 8.
8?
Give it a 9er.
I'm going to probably say I agree with both of you, so 8.5. It was much better than I thought it would be 24 hours. But I could tell it wasn't fresh. So maybe I'll just say 9.
Is it better to eat? You have to eat a blizzard with the red spoon, or can you eat it with just a normal metal spoon?
I don't like metal spoons in ice cream
No.
as much as plastic because they're so cold.
Yep.
I agree. Just wanted to make sure.
On Twitter, I said
Oh, here we go.
yesterday- See, I said I
5
wanted
minutes later.
a palate cleanser. That was it. I'm going to go to x.com here real quick.
Me too.
On Twitter, I posted a picture of myself, and I was in the car with Molly. She's my 2-year-old. And she's in the background of this picture, and she's got pink headphones on, which they put in the car. She wears those headphones. She's not even plugged into something half the time, but she wants to wear the headphones. And when a 2-year-old wants to wear the headphones, and it's your 4th kid, you're like, fine, wear the fudging headphones.
Yep.
You just go with it, because if you're like, you don't need to wear headphones. I literally say this to my kids. No, you can't watch the screens. Look at trees. Be bored. Deal with it. But it all kind of comes back to the same thing, which is I was sitting in the van because we got done with church, and my 2-year-old is the least acclimated to, not acclimated. She does not sit in church the way my other kids sat in church. She's busy. If she wants to do something and you tell her no, my other kids, we could always, you'd remove them from the church service every once in a while. But my kids always have done church pretty well. And I've been very proud of them for that and our ability to pursue or to push through. I remember my second youngest daughter when she was about 18 months, and we had just been kind of ejected from the church that we were in previously, and we were looking for churches. And we would go to all these different churches, and my 18-month-old, she sounded like a baby raptor, I think. I've never been around one, actually, but I've heard. And there was just this kind of, like, it wasn't a whine, it wasn't a cry. She wasn't happy, she wasn't sad, she was just vocalizing. And in some churches you go to, and you'd have the people who would turn around, they'd like have to know where the noise is coming from. Well, it's coming from a small child. Like that's going to happen in church. And some people would look at you and they'd stare at you like you need to make your kid be quiet. And I'm like, I know. Do you have any suggestions? Is there anything you could do to help? And, it's a very frequent thing to have happen to parents when you have young children in church. And the church that we ended up landing at, ironically, at the time, when my family of 5 would go to this church, if it got put over, my family of 5 would be the one who would take them into the 20 plus people who were in worship. Super small church. I think it's possible that I always said I don't think there's anyone under 50 in most of the worship services. I mean, I don't know if it was just stretch to say there's anyone under 60 in there. So here's my little family, like, you can't sneak in the back when you are persons number 14 and 15 and 16. They're like, oh, who's this? And we were young, but it was very close to where we live. And essentially we would try to take them other places and we wouldn't be able to get to other places in time. So we're like, let's just go to church. And it was very hard. I was struggling with a great dissatisfaction with the institution of church. It turns out that every church is full of sinners.
Wait, what?
Shocker.
It turns out that when we were, I always use the word ejected from the church that we were previously in, that I had grown up in, and we needed another church home. The biggest irony was that the thing that hurt me the most, which was an entity that I wanted to rely on, that the antidote to that was actually to be in church. That's a really hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out my family's not the only one to experience that.
I was getting ready to say, there's no way you're alone in that.
No. I hate to say it, but if you haven't experienced it yet,
It's funny you say that.
Hold on tight, because let me go back to my original premise. The church is full of sinners. Guess what I am? A really broken failure of a human being that is a sinner. And to suggest that when God said, okay, Annie, we're going to relocate your family, that all of the internal stuff that I was feeling, it's the most hurt and sad that I've ever been in my life, and still is. And I pray to God that I never have to experience that again. The truth is that when you get broken down and disappointed and hurt, that where that makes you feel like you're divided from these people who are part of the church is that you actually are still on the same side of the most important line that was ever drawn, which is the line that delineates the perfect from the imperfect. And there's one person who's on the one side of the perfect line, and then the rest of us are all here, and we all need the same forgiveness. So the forgiveness that I wanted to give, or that wasn't being sought out, I still need that forgiveness that is the same kind of forgiveness my heart needed to give, because I had been hurt. And then you realize that I have hurt people in the same way that I have been hurt. And it's just a really incredibly hopeless, hurtful place to be, that I was going to say for my family, but I honestly think this is for your family too. If church to you is a place where you go to learn how to be a good person, I want you to find a new church. It's just not really what the purpose of that is. Because the reason why I still needed to go to church, even though my pain stemmed from a broken relationship from where I had been, is that the new church that I eventually found, and I don't really think that I had a whole lot to do with finding it. I think I was put there. The church that I eventually found is together now. And I mean, honestly, like I was saying, when we first started going there, there were teens of people there. Which is about 150 people a week now, between 100 and 150 people a week. If you don't get there on time, it's a small church, so you got to fit in there, and that's great. That's a blessing. The thing that is consistent from place to place to place to place is just this innate brokenness that makes you feel helpless and hopeless. And then you go in there and you leave realizing that the understanding of that helplessness and hopelessness, it is a human thing. It's not location of a church thing. It's not a location of a workplace that hurt you. It's not a location of a relationship that you had that you don't have anymore that is broken now, that we're actually all in the same place. And the idea that you're going to just, you don't need to go to church to worship God or to be a Christian. The idea that you can learn how to be kind to one another and share kindness and share your faith with people outside of the church. The idea is that you actually heal those people who are feeling the same thing as you're feeling when you go to a place where you collectively acknowledge that, man, we are screwed up and we need something bigger than us and something better than us. And the reason why I bring all this up and the reason why I posted that picture yesterday is because I have, in the last 10 years of my life, had a lot of good excuses to not go to church. Because going to church with a 2-year-old is one of the hardest things that my husband and I have to do every week. We're sitting in a church service for maybe an hour and 20 minutes, and she is being herself. She is who God made her, and she's in that worship service, and we have to take her out and, recollect her and put her back in the church service. That the idea, the only thing worse than having to deal with her in church every week is not having her in church every week. And it's just a burden that you bear when you're a parent to say, I'm just going to do this. And if there's one cranky old lady who looks at you and gives you the side eye because your child isn't perfect, there are dozens of old ladies who are looking at you and their heart is aching because they remember their own. They remember going through that. They remember dealing with that. And they need to see it. They need to know that kingdom is continuing to be expanded and pushed generationally. And I can't be in a position to raise my kids to understand that there's no amount of good that you're going to do here that is going to supersede the bad that has already been done. But it's been taken care of for you, which is why you go to, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to go to be with them. You have to go to see them. You have to be together so that you can build on that relationship and grow that relationship. And if you're a Christian person like I am, your relationship with God is the same. You have to go to be with them. That is what you do when you're in a relationship. And it's really, really hard. And I'm taking an enormous point of privilege to talk about my faith life, which I understand might be different than yours. But I know that there are so many parents out there who are putting off going to church with their little ones because it's so hard. So this point of privilege is to tell you and your family, put your chin up, go to church, take your family to church, because right now, all of the politics that we talk about every day, all of the nastiness that we talk about every day, that all is post what you do with your soul. Let's take a quick break. You can go to the Annie Fry Show Twitter account or X account, and you can see that picture. And that is me hiding in the van. This isn't in the thing. This is in the van because I had to remove her from the church after the service so she wouldn't run out of the building away from us into traffic. There's a lot going on in there, but it's worth it. We'll be right back.
All about somebody who saved my soul. Ever since you rescued me, you gave my heart a song to sing. I'm living for the world to see. Nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see. Nobody but Jesus.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You can find them online at igotfloored.com. And speaking of little ones in my life, man, I've told the story before, but one of my oldest ones got a hold of some bleach that we were using while we were cleaning. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. Again, I'm a bad mom. But she spilled it on the carpet upstairs, and we're in this constant pursuit of when do we replace the carpet upstairs before we have another kid who ruins the new carpet. So I understand when you go to look for flooring, we've started to price some things out to see what the investment would be, if it's worth it at this time. I want to tell you that you need to check out igotfloored.com, which is the website where you can request an estimate. And when you do that, you can find out how much value you get when you shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. When we put new carpeting into our house, we want it to be a durable, quality kind of carpet so that it can stand all of the traffic that we're going to be living on it, including including that 2-year-old, and we're just going to keep the cleaning supplies up higher. This is a different 2-year-old, but yeah, we've learned our lesson. Shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Look for the Mohawk Silk brand of carpeting. It's a great line that we're going to be checking out as well. And see if it's for you. Before you make your final purchase, give Michael's Flooring Outlet an opportunity to earn your business. IGotFloor.com.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments until next year? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is Kim St. Ange with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. I can see clearly now thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra with Ophthalmology Associates, and you can too. Go to yourEyeDoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Hey, the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is who will be the next Speaker of the House? A current House of Representative member or someone outside the House? Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Also, we're about to test these blizzards and give you our rankings on where they fall. The time is 2:52. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Well, let's face it, it's been a very slow news week, so we might struggle just a little bit on the Reardon Roundtable for topics, but we're going to do our best. It all starts Friday afternoon at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. RSG says on YouTube, I have a lactose intolerant friend who works at DQ. He can dish it, but he can't take it.
I like it. RSG. Nice.
So we've tried them. You've tried it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I am pretty shocked. I'm going to say that to begin with. If 10 on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is fresh. We said Friday, our vote after it had been frozen for 24 hours. Ryan, you would have said on Friday it was a
9 after one day.
Brad, you said
it was an 8.
What do you think, Leah?
After one day.
After one day of being frozen.
I would have said 9.
9? I think I would have gone 8. I said 8.5, and I think half votes are stupid. So I'll say 9, just because I was much more pleased than I thought. I will say Thursday is when we put them in the freezer. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They've been frozen for 4 days. I would say that this is at least a 7.
That's what I would say, too, because it has lost a little bit, but it's still fine.
What do you think?
I'm at a 5.
We're eating blizzard. I don't know if we said this specifically. Blizzards that have been frozen for 4 days. We're trying to see how long you can eat it.
Yeah, I'm at a 5.
You're at a 5. Why?
I can. The ice cream is starting to break down, and I can start tasting
A little grit.
Not just grit, but like the flavor is breaking down too.
What do you think, Leah?
I'd be okay with 7. You said no half points.
Yeah, 7.
Okay.
Is that what you said? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
She's leaning 8, clearly.
What do you think?
I do think this is a 7, but I think there's an important point here, and that's that we have now unfrozen and refrozen these twice.
We didn't.
Normally,
they weren't unfrozen.
Well, edible, though, to the point where you could eat them. So normally you'd unfreeze it just one time, and then you'd eat it. So I think that may be affecting it.
When I put mine back in the freezer, I think it was still hard.
Mm-hmm.
But you were able to take a bite.
Mine was.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but I don't think that it was ever in a position where you couldn't take a bite if you didn't want to.
So, yeah, they get hard enough where it's hard without a real spoon to get them out.
This is much better than I would have thought it was going to be at this point in the juncture, but definitely 4 days later, there's no way that if you gave this to me, I would think that it was freshly made.
No.
Not even close.
No. I could look at it and tell.
But if I were getting buy one get ones, like you initially did that one night, if I were getting buy one get ones, I could see the value of buying a large one and setting aside some for later. But and you kind of you've already adapted your plan here. You just can't pass it off. You couldn't pass this off as fresh to your wife.
No, I don't think that you could. And especially the more stuff they add to it, like if it's just a traditional blizzard with Butterfinger in it or whatever, you might be able to go a day or two. But the more they add the fluffer nutter ones that have the marshmallow in the middle and the royal treats that have the brownie stuff or the chocolate in the middle, those little funnel things, the more they add to it, I think the less it's going to age well. Because it's more of a concoction that way.
But so Brad, you said this is a 5 now, 4 days later.
Yeah, it's a 5.
Would you, if you took this out of the freezer and you wanted ice cream and this is ice cream you had, would you eat it all?
If this is what I had, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, exactly.
So you can invest a little bit in your future.
So I think what we're telling you is next time you get a buy one, get one at Dairy Queen, get the biggest ones possible.
Maybe.
Is what we're telling you.
We're just trying to manage expectations.
We're trying to help you.
Anything you want to add, Leah? Would you eat that? You'd finish that?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a picky eater, so.
We're going to put it back in the freezer and maybe wait 2 more days. And then we'll see.
That sounds fair.
The YouTube live chat poll for today on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Will the next Speaker of the House come from a current House representative or someone outside the House? Votes are in. 28% say someone outside the House. So a little over a fourth. 72% said it's somebody who's already in the House. Does that surprise you at all? I think that's about right.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Brad, you think that that's kind of what you expected?
Yeah.
Leah, what do you think? Someone in the House or someone outside the House?
I'm going to say in the House.
In the House? Well, you would be voting with the majority. Thank you for listening to us today. If you subscribe to the Annie Fry Show podcast, enjoy repeats of the Jason Chaffetz interview, Steve Moore, and Congressman Mike Bost, the Mark Reardon Show, up next.
What do you want from me? I'm not a Mary, the sweet
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
If you like to work with a local company that
gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of